Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and all my non-binary pals. Welcome on in. Hi, my name is Ed, and I'm a psychologist, and I tend to go ahead and analyze video games, anime, everything in between. We recently finished up Omori, Undertale, Deltarune, anime for like the past number of years, and this has been on my recommended list for quite a bit. While we're thinking about the next game to go ahead and replace Omori, so make sure to come on through and join us in the Discord so that your voice is heard, and we're able to go ahead and pick out another series or another game to go ahead and jump in. Now, this is sort of a tester. I don't know if people are going to like this or not, or if people are going to be open to the analysis of this show. But here I am. I'm just curious to see if there people are actually interested in something like this. If this goes longer than I might anticipate, we might have to break it up into multiple parts, and I hope you guys are okay with it. YouTube, you might just get multiple parts, multiple segments, as one complete video. But with that being said, the whole purpose of this channel is an analysis. It is not about predictions in any way, shape, or form. Again, as I am a psychologist, I do have my DSM-5 handy, and I do tend to go ahead and sit down, talk, and analyze quite a bit. I have my whiteboard in the background that I'll go get at some point in time, so that we're able to go ahead and dissect either the characters, the environment, whatever is there. I appreciate each and every single one of you for being here. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and with that being said, let's jump into this, shall we? Okay, let's do it. Also, if you like it, if you want me to keep going, leave a like, comment, subscribe, that whole thing. Again, it means the world. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, let me make sure I can get this in right. Why is this so weird? All right, let me make sure I got it. Hold on. Apologies, it doesn't seem to be. Okay, here we go. Oh. Now, I don't know why y'all kept recommending Neon Neko Sugar Girls, but I mean, I guess that's just something we're gonna have to jump into at some point in time. No, actually, all right, now for real, let's go into it. Glitch Productions, eh? Ooh. Ooh, that is such an interesting little choice there. And I don't mean to just stop randomly from the second of jumping into that, right? Oh, you guys know what this is? I know you guys have been recommending it. Even my mods are like, what? I know. Here. The transition from these graphics to... Now, I don't know anything about this show, as you know, previously stated, but something that's coming into mind is the whole aspect as to, like, number one, if a production company comes through and is showcasing this transition immediately from like older graphics to, I guess, more modern graphics, right? If we're gonna go ahead and call it that way, comes in the aspect of perspective, right? What is this trying to go ahead and showcase? And then in one big way, I guess, in this altogether comes in the aspect of, does environment, time, even perspectives matter inside of this, right? And I don't know anything, of course, as I keep mentioning, right? When we're looking into this, why introduce this show in this manner, right? Where you're first coming in through and then everything seems to either materialize, right? I.e., like, we're bringing it into our own reality. And in case y'all are wondering, one of the key aspects of this, and by the way, I keep looking down because one of my first off, my brother's texting me, and also I have a stream going on in the background that I support. It's not like I'm actually involved in it, so if y'all are thinking otherwise, just know that I'm watching a stream, happening in the background that they kind of need views. But one of the key aspects that I think about is how much does perspective and our own reality, right, or even perspectives of reality, influence our environment. Key aspect of this, right, is how many of you know about the difference between a delusion and a hallucination? right? Spoiler alert, I know. Real question, how many of you guys know the difference between a delusion and a hallucination? A delusion is a fixed false belief, right? Delusion is more of a belief. Yes, 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 yes. What else? Hallucination is the absence of stimuli or perception. Correct. But at the same time, what lasts longer, hallucinations or delusions? At the same time, even fixed set beliefs can lead us, right? Because they're often comorbid. This is one of the big aspects. And by the way, in case you're out there, you ever hear anything like, oh, bachelor psychology student, they don't really touch into most of the DSM-5 or even have clients, right? Or even able to go out and do certain things, right? Delusion is a belief, hallucination is more of a biological brain. However, they're often comorbid. There's often a big comorbidity that you'll find with a lot of individuals, right? Who can both hallucinate while at the same time having delusional beliefs about the environment that they're in or even about themselves, right? And that's one of the key areas as I'm looking into this. It's making me wonder, whose perspective are we taking on this? Is this the like us being brought into this world and understanding that from afar this is digital, but when we get up close, we're making this and personalizing this a lot more and bringing it in closer to ourselves? Is this supposed to be a reflection of us coming into this environment or someone else coming into this environment? That's the question worth having. And sorry if this is way off track and this has nothing to do with the show whatsoever. It's just looking at this, right? And even past that. Even past that. The fact that, like, I like the alternative model, the DSM-5, that tends to ignore the favor of the categorical model. Yeah. But and Remy, let's do a quick. We'll do a little. I know environmental storyteller is a big part of this show. We'll get into this, and we'll get into a big discussion as well about like roles, right, in the therapeutic field as well. One of the big things I want to touch on in this, particularly when it comes into this, right, the dots. This reminds me of a childlike cartoon, but is it? Is it? Oh, I guess we're going into a circus.
Welcome to the amazing digital circus! My name is Caine. I'm your ringmaster, and I'm here to show you the most jaw-dropping, heart-stopping, mind-bending paraphernalia you've ever laid your eyes upon! Isn't Welcome to the amazing digital circus!
He has his eyes, or they have, because we don't know their gender, right? They have their eyes inside their mouth. Question for y'all, and I don't know much about this, right? And I understand that the ring master, ring leader inside of this, it's already making me set up like, and they're gonna reveal this world to us. How much power does this individual have over what we see, right, and over what we're about to experience? Even more so, are we being told truths or are we being told lies when it seems as though your mouth, right, in a very absurdic fashion, right? And I love the design, don't get me wrong, I'm actually like really on board. If it doesn't seem that way, trust me when I say it, really am. When their mouth, it takes up a majority portion of their head, i.e. maybe they're good at speaking, right, and through their yeah, through their I think a lot of it that I have seen tends to ignore and not take a philosophical perspective. I mean, it can, especially if you're to the philosophical nature, but we're going to stick mostly with the psychological grounded roots, right, and go from that. But through its mouth, right, comes in the main aspect of things. Are we being told lies, and in those lies being observed as to how we react to them? Like, I've always heard like people.
Welcome to the amazing digital circus! My name is Caine.
Hi, Caine.
Master, and I'm here to show you the most jaw-dropping, heart-stopping, mind-bending paraphernalia you've ever laid your eyes upon. Isn't that right, Bubble?
That's right, Caine.
Aww.
You've got cooking up for today.
Well, let's not waste any time. Let's
Aww.
get right into the show.
Did we just get Brecht?
To the amazing digital circus! My name is Caine. I'm
Did he really just did they really just take us from a stage, like luring us in, to another stage? They showcased the world, right? Very clearly, you're showcasing that we are the audience, right? We are the observers. We're the ones in here. Welcome to this world where I'm, setting up the stage or whatnot. And then they come on through and they take us to another stage. That is such an interesting. Whoa. Okay, I have a question for y'all. How dark does this show get? I don't know. This is just the introduction, but seeing the fact that they've already a Brechtian approach, in case y'all don't know, in theater, is very much when the audience is reminded that they are watching a show, that they are watching a stage, that they are there, right? That we're observing, something happen, right, in this regard. And the fact that they didn't need to reintroduce us to a second stage, but yet it happens, brings up the opportunity, or brings up, I guess, my train of thought pattern here, that hey, does this mean that this is going to be we're going to get attached to some of these characters, or maybe unattached to some, and at the same time maybe hurt in the process, or this show just gets really dark really quickly, and at the same time we develop these attachments from them? I think there's a lot. Yeah.
your ringmaster, and I'm here to show you the most jaw-dropping, heart-stopping, mind-bending paraphernalia you've ever laid your eyes upon.
And you'll see some of your questions. Yeah, but I always here's the thing. I'm not, by the way, whenever we have a client, because people always seem to get this wrong, right? It's not like I'm asking these questions immediately right off the bat, right? The good thing is that this is a video and we can stop, we can talk, we can analyze. And I'm sorry if this type of content disturbs some of you guys. Just know I'm trying to understand a bigger aspect of the world. And this is how we're able to go ahead and hindsight is 2020, and it's always good to actively be processing these questions internally and be okay, where are we going with this? How does this improve? How can, what are the next steps? Where is this going in this regard? So another question that I have. Oh man, this is such a good little opening.
To the amazing digital circus! My name is Caine. I'm your ringmaster, and I'm here to show you the most jaw-dropping, heart-stopping, mind-bending paraphernalia you've ever laid your eyes upon! Isn't that right, Bubble?
That's right, Caine. I can't wait to see what you've got cooking.
Hi, Bubble.
Well,
You're
let's not waste any
adorable.
time. Let's get right into the show!
So for Caine, how much do they control? Yeah, for Caine, what does control mean for them? Is it an aspect where we're coming in and these are characters that are going to be introduced to us that already have a preset determination as to what roles they have to play? Or is it more so that it comes in and it's just a natural environment? Well, I mean, it is a circus, right? So you expect people to already have some predetermined roles, unless that's not the way. I don't know, but it is making me wonder, what level of control does Caine have, not just to us, the viewers looking in, but internally to the world at hand here, right? Do they have absolute dominion over everything? Physical, emotional, psychological, mental, anything that can inhabit a creature, an individual in here, considering that they're the ringleader? Well, and that's the main aspect that I'm getting at, right? Whenever I'm looking at Caine, one of the first thoughts that comes to mind, I'm so glad you're bringing this up, Remy, is these are the archetypes, right? These are the archetypes that are pretty consistent, pretty common in what we know, right? So whenever I look at Caine, what do we see, chat? What do we see? What is the first aspect that comes through when you see Caine? What are the good masks that is being showcased onto us, the viewers, right? What are we led to believe? Oh, and chat goes silent. That's how you know it. That's how you know I'm asking a semi-decent question here. If chat goes silent like that, it's a good question, right? Someone saying magician, right? Juniper saying magician. Where's magician at? magician, trickster. So then power is a big thing. What I heard immediately is, oh, you know, what I heard immediately was like, oh, I'm the ringleader. That tells me that they're in control. But and you know, and we're seeing the aspect of like, oh, ringleader, creator, cool, awesome, right? Does that mean that control and innovation mean a big aspect? And maybe the negative, the internal negative mask that may be hidden is actually a tyrant destroyer who's afraid of losing control, who's afraid of things not going their way, or of things all automatically shifting away from their intended like aspects or purpose or whatever that may be. You know, where things start shifting or going into a different direction that is not intended. Maybe they lose a big aspect of themselves, and then maybe they start going from this like positive aspect of being a ruler creator to being a tyrant destroyer, and maybe it's hidden. Maybe this is one of those hidden layers. Same thing with magician and trickster, right? Where power, you know, can go back in. And sorry if the camera's going back on, right? What is a type was incapable? I was about to say, well, that depends. Hold on. And that's sort of why I highlight this, right? I highlight this because I'm looking at this and I'm like, why showcase this, right? Maybe ruler. Yeah. Well, would that desire for control relate to an attachment issue? You guys have been trained really well. You know, you guys have been trained really, really well. Hold on, chat. Yay. Okay. The entertainment aspect also makes me think potential jester creator combo. Yes. But this particular, my computer's acting up here and it's not letting me bring. I apologize on this on my behalf here. It's not letting me bring up all my forms here, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and put it up in here. But all right, here we go. What do we see from this, chat? What do we see from this? What attachment style is becoming apparent for me? I mean, it depends, right? It depends. One of the big aspects that's highlighting for me is like, number one, if they're a ruler, are they secure, or could they be anxious inside of that? If we're already noting that like inside of it, control might be a big issue, right? Or are we looking to more of an anxious aspect if like the ruler creator aspects are what is being, you know, highlighted? I don't know. Could be anxious. We'll find out. It's too soon to tell, but I'll have you guys know. For me, Caine is already displaying a little bit, and especially with just a little bit of the Jungian archetypes, it's already displaying a little bit more of the anxious attachment style with some of the qualities that we've just noted. We're only 32 seconds in. Sorry, chat. This is probably going to be multiple parts that need to act out. I hope y'all are okay with it. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube and you don't know, a lot of individuals in chat have some sort of psychology experience in some way, shape, or form. I know Evie does. Bleak, you know, has your personal opinion very, very well versed inside of that. A lot of individuals have been here and know a lot of the themes and elements to bring on through. So in case you guys see them throwing a lot of this, it is absolutely awesome to see a community that's deeply involved and has a lot of the psychological concepts ready for discussion. All right.
Let's not waste any time. Let's get
Also,
mind-bending paraphernalia you've ever laid your eyes upon. Isn't that right, Bubble?
That's right, Caine.
Bubble. Yeah, Bubble has some jaws for something that sounds so innocent, right? It's like that perspective, right? Where, oh, you know what Caine reminds me of? You know those old cartoon characters where like your eyes come out of your socket, but instead his eyes are coming out of his mouth, you know? Oh, that is Reminds me of eyes and mouth, clarity of reality obscured, some kind of hunger. Yeah, some kind. Exactly the chain one, right? Yeah, Tex Avery Wolf. But nonetheless, like Bubbles having teeth yet having like such a cute voice and such a cute look to it. Yeah, I guess those teeth can bite.
I can't wait to see what you've got cooking up for today.
Well, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into the show.
All right, we're gonna back it up. The first thing we get is like a mask looking character. Like, ooh. Center stage mask character that looks to be happy, right? But yet their eyes are down. It's like the classic theater mask, and it's making me wonder: are we gonna see the other side of that as well? And I'm assuming we are. Also, the fact that it doesn't really, it's not fully complete, I guess, or like it's kind of hanging on by wires. Is that what it is, or what are its legs? Yeah, comedy tragedy mask. You know. Yeah, the ribbons, right? Well, because there's a lot to it, right? How complete are you with just a ribbon? And that's a big one. Whoa, this next character, they look wonderful. By the way, apologies if they do have preferred gender pronouns. I don't fully know them yet. They have not been introduced to me yet. But I hope you guys will forgive me for using they, them a lot for these characters until, of course, they are known. So just throwing that out there. Okay, so their body's a little bit more, out there, has a lot of different parts to it. Some parts that look like it's not all, it's not all fully, what is it like? Not compatible, but like it doesn't look centered, like together. I wonder how this character feels about their own body. Like looking at the way that, like, for me, looking at, because we have Caine combing on through, right? And then them, and it's making me wonder, number one, also, how do they feel about themselves, right? Considering that the first thing that we see is a happy mask, asymmetrical. Thank you, Buttery. The first thing that we see is like a happy mask. It makes me wonder about the sad mask, and also it's not a full, complete body, inside of it, inside of them. And then for them, it looks asymmetrical, and either it makes me wonder, like, are they comfortable or uncomfortable in their body, and are they okay, like, because, like, number one, you can take a lot of power in how you present, right? But considering that their arms are crossed, right?
Well, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into the show.
Ooh. So open, closed. Oh, that's a lot to take in. I have a 3D experience. It's very asymmetrical, very cool to look at. But I wonder what they think about themselves, especially because they don't look too happy, or like their eyes kind of just look down, like done with it. Their hands are crossed over. Ooh. And I disappeared. I went to like nowhere, and then I came back. Apologies. All right. We're back. Refresh stream chat. All right. So the main aspect that I was getting at is, for this character in particular, how would you feel? Can you turn on subtitles? No, I cannot, because it's gonna completely. If you guys want to watch this show on your own, you can. Unfortunately, if I throw on subs, it's gonna be significantly more difficult for me to be able to jump on through and fix stuff. Post edit. That's just an unfortunate aspect. I can make the volume louder on my end if that helps out. Sorry, guys. I can make the volume louder, but I can't necessarily jump through and accommodate in that aspect at the moment. All right. Anyway. I know, right? Gotcha. No worries. No, it's about editing. I think one of the big people a lot of individuals don't know is how much. Yeah, exactly. is how much like extra work a lot of like editing stuff goes into. Anyway, we're back into it. So the big question that I had in here is when it comes for this character, how would you guys feel about being like this? You know? Would you guys feel comfortable, uncomfortable?
I'm your ringmaster, and I'm here to show you the most jaw-dropping, heart-stopping, mind-bending paraphernalia you've ever laid your eyes upon! Isn't that right, Bubble?
That's right, Caine. I can't wait to see what you've got cooking up for today.
Well, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into the show!
Whoa! Whoa! Oh, whoa. Okay. So you have what looks to be a king chess piece under a fort of pillows. Now, this is making me wonder about all of these characters, particularly this. What does what does safety look like for them? No, I wouldn't even say they're overcompensating. I would actually come through, not just yet. I would come through and question safety and the physiological needs. One of the big things that comes through to me is, okay, why do a lot of kids build blanket forts or pillow forts, or why do a lot of kids do that, right? Oftentimes, aside from imagination, it's a form of safety and or security. So it makes me wonder, where do these characters live, and are they comfortable where these characters are living at? Yes, no, like how so? Because like, take a look at this, right? Like shelter, exactly. Shelter being one of the baseline needs in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And if we're looking at this, it's like, why is a king, right, under a pillow fort? And also the eyes being uneven. Ooh. Pillow forts are also a place to hide. Exactly. Exactly. Is this place a home or just a place to live in? Well, even further, why choose to go into a pillow fort if they're a king? Ooh.
Mind-bending paraphernalia you've ever laid your eyes upon! Isn't that right, Bubble?
All right, is the audio okay now? I hope the audio is okay now, chat. Do let me know, please. Because, again, I don't really have full control over...
All right, Caine. I can't wait to see what you've got cooking up for today.
Well, let's not waste any time. Let's get right
Exactly.
into the show!
And they close the fort door, right? They see us.
Get right into the show!
They see us and they close the fort door. Huh. Okay. What's her name? What's their name? Question. Because usually, like, their eyes twitch right before they close the door too. Yeah, it's a flight response, right? Fight, flight, freeze, fawn, right? Flop, you also have all the other Fs. But when we're looking at this character in particular, look at the number of like holes in their skirt, right? Or in their dress. They have a button for an eye, yet they're overly smiley. Ragatha. Is that their name? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Raggedy Ann reference. Oh, okay. Ragatha. So if you noticed it,
Well, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into the show.
Oh, what the heck? How do I make the subs smaller? When did I turn on the subs? Did they just auto turn on for me? Yo, I didn't. No, I don't want subs. I need to go back.
I'm your ringmaster, and I'm here to show you the most jaw-dropping,
maybe.
heart-stopping, mind-bending paraphernalia you've ever laid your eyes upon!
Unless I do. Oh, okay.
Isn't that right, Bubble?
Okay, that button's not working. Ah, there we go.
That's all right, Caine. I can't wait to see what you've got cooking up for today.
Well, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into the show.
Gangle is their name.
Let's get right into the show.
Gangle is their name. Okay. Question for you. How does Ragatha seem to you? Chat? How does Ragatha seem to you? It seems like they've gone through a life. But for me, the fact that like they've gone through this life, whatever they might have gone through, right? Considering all the holes on their dress and whatnot, and their button for an eye. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me, and I hate to put this out there. It reminds me of a lot of us, where sometimes we've had to patch ourselves up so many times, and we've been hurt so many times, but yet we're still trying to go ahead and smile and get people in to like us in some capacity. It's making me wonder if they, as a character, maybe they have people-pleasing tendencies, or maybe they've been hurt. They might have a traumatic past, clearly by the button on their eye and by their patchwork. It looks like they've been used in some capacity. If maybe they're they overdo things, right? Or maybe they're overly they're over, how do I put it, like not overly confident but overly positive in elements, or overly trying to attach themselves at times. And this might be me projecting off of what I'm seeing. This might be my projection out of what I'm, piecing together based out of the context clues here. But it does look like there's a lot to take in. It's a Raggedy Ann doll, which is supposed to be a doll that you like, you love, you care for, all of these things. But yet, we look at them and it looks like they've gone through hell and above. And it makes me wonder, number one, what do their attachments look like, or their support network? Like it looks like a confident can-do attitude. But it's like, what do their past look like? Like a toxic positivity in a way. Yeah, right? So like, for example, if I met, if this person came to me as a client, right? And like, let's say if their clothes were all disheveled, or you could actively see that there was like holes there, and like maybe there was bruises, or, something like that. They came through, they still have a positive can-do attitude and whatnot. I'd be like, okay, but where does this come from? So, like, for example, one of the questions that I would ask if Ragatha was my client would be something along the lines of, Ragatha, it looks like you're going through quite a bit of stuff, but yet you still manage to hold on a smile. Does that weigh heavy on you? Tell me about it. Where does this come from? Weaving them clothes could be, right? Where does this come from? What is, like, I see that you're hurt, or that a portion of you may be hurt, right? Where do you see yourself going, right? Or how do you heal, right? Like, that is a big question, or a big component that I think I would throw out for them. And I might be wrong. Again, this is just my first impressions of this show. This is just me barely digging in, right? And this came out of random because we just finished up Amori just yesterday. But that's a big question that I would come out, is essentially like, talking about projection. It's a very, very deep, heavy game. Like, you know, do you feel loved, or what does love look like for you? Same thing for them, right? For Gangle here, it's like, okay, I see that you smile, like, you know, you come through and you look very smiley, right? Or what does a bad day look like for you? How do you handle yourself in the stressful situations, right? Oftentimes individuals that I see come in smiling the brightest are usually the individuals with the darkest days. Oh, the outfits and eyes. Yeah, I can't hide that despite the smile, right? I mean, just like with Gangle, right? They're not fully, you know, I mean, they're just made out of ribbons compared to the others, where the others have a bit more fleshed out aspects to them. So it makes me wonder, right? Like, just about them in general. And Zubul, it's like, hey, Zubul, how do you feel about yourself, right? Like, a lot of people have this weird idea that a therapist is just like, we're sitting in our chairs, right? And the client's laying down and we're just taking notes. No, the good therapist, a good psychologist will not have an active notebook in front of them taking notes, because guess what? This is a barrier for us to genuinely connect. This is a forum to showcase power dynamics over a client, right? So if Zubul were to come through, right, it'd be a conversation. It'd be one of those healthy conversations. Yeah, Gangle looks bashful and exposed. They look a little uncomfortable. But Zubul, it'd be like, how do you feel? Like, what does it look like? You look like you're annoyed. Tell me about it, right? How do you feel about yourself? It looks like, you know, you're made up of like different aspects and different parts, right? Tell me about that, and tell me about your own perception of yourself, right? And of course, for Kingler, we talk about safety, security, all the things. Oh, okay. I'm guessing this is gonna be Jax, considering where the subtitles are going. Someone's already laying down center stage, either carefree or, but the fact that they're smiling like that, right? Is it bad for me to say that Robo, welcome on through. Is it bad of me to say that Jax kind of feels super, like, if there's a game called Super Seducer on Steam where it's kind of like, I wouldn't even say charmer. I don't, compared to how everyone else is being introduced, I don't know. It feels different. It feels different compared to how the other characters are reacting. It almost feels like, I don't know, they enjoy the attention, or like I know they wink, right? I know they wink and they do all these things. But them just laying down like this, like, if, compared to everyone else, right? Like, what if this individual, this character, knows more than they lead on in a negative way, right? I.e., maybe a counter hero. Maybe they'll make us laugh, comedic relief, but at the same time, the way that this is going, and the gloves and smile not even being perfectly white, you know, kind of gives me an idea that this character is probably not necessarily good, and more so along the lines of devious or a trickster, cunning, performative. Yes. Yes, and they all take up different elements, right, of the space. Kaufmo. Oh, look at this clown. Disclaimer: Kaufmo the clown did not show up today. Oh no. Disclaimer: Kaufmo did not show up today. Question: Are they stuck in a loop? Day after day after day after day after day after day. The literal red flags here, the red curtain symbolizing a giant red flag that's in there, right? Different items all together, and 6 different items. Like, and then the bubbles popping. It's as though they're being made. Are they being made to perform? Oh wait, I've seen this character before in like a meme. What was the meme? There was a meme about this character before, and I've seen like one person cosplaying it at TwitchCon, or cosplaying them at TwitchCon. Anyway, sorry. I'm gonna... Interesting that the only individuals that are actually flying is Caine and Bubbles, right? Like, interesting that like these are the only individuals. Again, the sky is not even real. The moon and the sun aren't even real. But yet they're trying to make us believe that they are. But they're clearly drawn out. They're clearly fake. How much... And the whole world is fake. But yet they're trying to make it believe so. The whole day after day after day after day after day after day. How tired would you be? And if that concept is true...
Ever laid your eyes upon? Isn't that right, Bubble?
That's right, Caine.
Yeah, look at the fake sky. There it is.
Wait to see what you've got cooking up for today.
Well, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into the show.
If it's day after day after day after day, don't you think that like this could be psychological torture? Is this show, like, I might be 100% wrong, and I'm so sorry. I'm really scared of actually like going in deep and then being like so off the market that it's like insane. But is this show just like exploring? Does this show explore psychological torture from confining these individuals into a daily routine of whatever adventures that Caine might want? Because look at the way that they're all reacting. Maybe some of them are newer to this world than others in some capacity. But yet, if you're stuck, you're stuck. Whoa. And the exit dissolves. They truly seem to panic, and it's a huge displacement issue. But yet they're dressed up like a jester. They're dressed up like a jester. Is pleasure an aspect of issue here, or is it that they're a jack of all trades, master of none? Yeah, our jesters bewildered and terrified, you know? Oh my goodness. But it also makes me wonder. Kaufmo did not show up today. What happened to Kaufmo? If you're telling me, oh, hold on. No.
Welcome to the amazing digital circus! My name is Caine. I'm your ringmaster, and I'm here to show you the most jaw-dropping, heart-stopping, mind-bending paraphernalia you've ever laid your eyes upon! Isn't that right, Bubble?
If Caine is the ringmaster here, what happened to Kaufmo? What happened to Kaufmo? What happened to Kaufmo? You had everyone come in and be ready.
That's right, Caine. I can't wait to see what you've got cooking up for today.
Well, let's not waste waste any time. Let's get right into the show.
Jingle and Super and Keener too. I got the Jax and Kaufmo.
Did not show up today.
After day we fly past the moon and the sun, and we don't know why. Where
This almost makes me wonder. This almost makes me wonder. Yeah, what happened to Kaufmo? And then my second thing that came on through was this person summoned here because Kaufmo is not here? And if that's the case, where is Kaufmo? Because they're trying to go ahead and fit a theme here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blank, not there. Yet you have 6 items, but Kaufmo's not there. So then you bring in a 6th character. Ooh. Ooh. Chat, are we the bad guys? Day after day after day. Is it every single time that maybe we watch I'm gonna go so meta with y'all, it's gonna be insane. That we watch a YouTube video or something, we're keeping them in this perpetual notion of going through these days endlessly. Of course, I don't know. That's just I'm just going based off of the theme song and what we're hearing right now. But it's just something that comes into mind is like, are we the bad guys? Like, for example, one of the big things that happens right after this is, you know, they looked really displaced. They looked really scared, you know. And there's an exit, but the exit is a lie. Oh, oh, this is so good. This show, or it's already like dragging me into it. Oh my goodness. Well, and then the sun and the moon, right? The 6 items that are in here, the repetition was the first thing that caught my attention when I first watched it too, right? It's literally a showman outfit. Yeah, exactly. It's like a self-schema too, I think. Well, here's the main regard that I'm going into with this. Hold on, let me bring it up. Where's it at? Where's it at? This one can do it, right? For these characters, of course, we don't know much more than the 6 characters that are being presented. But how do their systems look like? And if there's no one else in these systems and only these 6 characters and Kaufmo, what then? What then? Then it's truly a 4 aspect of control. This is brought from Brenner's ecological theorem, and it's how we establish a healthy model of understanding our environment and how our environment impacts us, right? It's a back and forth communication aspects. But if there's only a very limited amount of a microsystem and even mesosystem, and everything else is being controlled by, let's say, Caine or another individual being out there, this is terrifying. This is absolutely terrifying. Wow. Wow. Back it up one last time here.
Welcome to the amazing digital circus! My name is Caine. I'm your ringmaster, and I'm here to show you the most jaw-dropping, heart-stopping, mind-bending paraphernalia you've ever laid your eyes upon! Isn't that right, Bubble?
That's right, Caine. I can't wait to see what you've got cooking up for today.
Well, let's not waste any time. Welcome to the amazing digital circus! My name is Caine. I'm your ringmaster, and I'm here to show you the most jaw-dropping, heart...
I'm your ringmaster. Not I'm the ringmaster. I'm your ringmaster. Words matter, chat. Words matter. Oh.
Stuffing mind-bending paraphernalia you've ever laid your eyes upon. Isn't
How
that right,
dark.
Bubble?
I'm not seeing any exits or anything around, you know, considering.
Can't wait to see what you've got cooking up for today.
Well, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into the show.
Bingo and Super with
Right.
Ragatha, Jax and Kaufmo with Ragatha, Jax and
Oh, look at Kaufmo though. I really wish that there was like a, you know, there were actually like here currently, so we'd be able to go ahead and do like a deeper analysis rather than just staring at the cardboard cutout. Unless, of course, like I don't know, Kaufmo actually plays a very central, pivotal role to the entire story, and we're about to find out more about them later. But they seem like a chill person. They seem like a chill dude.
Kaufmo.
They're not chill today.
Day after day after day after day after day we fly past the moon and the sun.
So could his control spread even beyond the confines of the show? Or try
And we
to.
don't know why. Where?
It's such a. Oh. Oh, and the sad eyes. So they bump into, what's the bunny's name again, chat? What's the bunny's name, chat? Remind me again. Jax. So they bump into Jax. Jax bumps into King. And King, thank you. Oh.
Caine, is this one of your NPCs or is this a new sucker?
So Caine can bring it. Whoa, that's. So then that means that Caine does this repeatedly, right? Bringing new people in either as an NPC or as a new member to the cast in here. Oh God, everything's glitching. Yeah, no, that's great. But for me, this already complicates things because it means that Caine does have almost absolute power, and that can be good and bad because again, we're talking about power and control, right? And innovation and all these things. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, and all my non-binary friends, that will bring us to the end of part 1 here, because that's all the time that I have for tonight. It is about an hour into just a minute of the show. Ooh, it looks like there's going to be a lot to analyze in this show, and I hope that you guys are ready. We might go ahead. I know it's a baby stream. I told y'all. We're going to have a lot to go ahead and break in and analyze, and who knows, I might even lots to unpack. I might even do some more come after Oshinoko on Wednesday. With that being said, on YouTube, by the time this goes up, it'll all be compiled into one big video. I hope that you all take care of yourselves. Please practice that self-care. YouTube, I'll catch y'all later. Thank you so much. Sorry, it's going to be compiled into one big one. Hi, YouTube. Welcome on back. Hey, previously we just did the intro, and guess what? It's been a busy week, busy week, and we're back for the next part of the amazing digital circus. Now, I'm going to jump in and say it again. Hey, this is strictly an analysis, stream reaction. It is not predictions. If I get anything even slightly right, it is not predictions in any way, shape, or form. The whole purpose of this channel is to go ahead and psychoeducate, psychoanalyze the characters, the environment, everything and anything that's in there. And we were going to go to jump right back into it because it feels like there's a lot to take in, a lot to analyze, and a lot to just, I don't know, this world is amazing, and it's been on my mind since we watched it a couple days ago. I know that we've done Oshinoko since then, but in case you guys want to come and join us, we are going to try and do the amazing digital circus analysis, maybe on Friday after we finish up the anime that we watch, which is Frieren, or on Sundays right before we get into Expedition 33. So come and join us here on Twitch whenever possible. We usually get started around 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time at the moment, and then on Sundays at 1 p.m. So come and join us. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this. Please let me know in the comments down below if you do. because all of this is going to be all the way through this. Anyway, let's do it. Let's do it. We're starting back up again. All right, you guys should be able to hear this. Captions are on. This little section here, and this is something that was on my mind even last time, right? It sounds as though we're going through, like, I don't know, like a wave, like a curtain, like something that really brings us into the reality of this realm. And I know in the hour-long analysis that we had in the first little video, like we talked endlessly in on this, but like, you know, like truly coming into this. Also, I have a question for you all. These colors that are consistently being used, red, white, blue, right? Red, it feels like an old Nintendo 64 game. It does. It really does. Red, white, blue, or yellow, you know. So, and as we look at the characters in here. Ooh. Hold on. No worry, Rince. Have a great night. Be safe. All right, let me bring this up. Oftentimes, whenever I bring this up, it always turns into an interesting discussion. Let's start off by analyzing this tent here. In case y'all are wondering, Ed, what are you bringing up right now? Now, in psychology, for example, in case y'all don't know who I am, hi, my name's Ed. I'm a psychologist. I've been in the field for over 15 plus years now, I guess, at this point in time. I've worked my way up from being a peer support case manager, a therapist, to a full-on psychologist. I work on various boards across many states in regards to behavioral health, housing, and a bunch of needs. And some of the roles that I've established even as a therapist was doing group counseling and art therapy / drama therapy for kids. Now, one of the big things that pops up in this regard as we're going through it, right? It goes from a lo-fi feel, yeah, is this, and I want you guys to pay attention to this. This is a color psychology wheel, right? And almost every culture has a different meaning ascribed to what colors we use, right? To try and go ahead and ascertain emotions, right? Especially when we're trying to teach kids or young adults how to go ahead and paint, or have a baseline so that they can go ahead and paint their colors out, paint their emotions out, be able to go ahead and even ask questions like, why'd you paint it blue, right? And usually these are the responses that a lot of people get, right? It's like, oh, you know what, blue usually means sad, which usually has a lot, like, larger layer of emotions beneath it. Same thing with red or yellow or orangey-ish, right? Green, you name it, right? All of these emotions usually are layered down in different manners to have people being able to go and express themselves. Now, why do I bring this up? Well, what colors do we see here? Well, and that's the thing, is like when you start looking in here, what are some of the aspects and it's not even necessarily gray, it can be black, right? I know it looks grayish, but it's more like gray to dark black. Numb and dissociated is also kind of goes into the blue layers that you might see in there. I think dissociation is in there, if I remember correct. Dissociation should be in there. Anyway, if not, you get the feeling for it. What colors do we see in the background, chat? What are the two main colors that we see? The tent. Let's start off with the tent. The tent, right? Yellow, and I would even say, like, I think for me this is not necessarily yellow. It's like orangey yellow, so it might be a mixture of both, which is kind of interesting because they're on opposites, right? Happy and angry. So it's making me wonder if they're already on opposites, right? We have different emotional colors that are instanced there. Then what is the truth? Are you happy and angry? Or are you more fearful and angry, right? Is this tent, is this aspect in here more so an aspect of a power control? More so in lines with an individual or whoever's leading this, right? Caine, for example, being more scared, anxious, insecure, weak, threatened, at times maybe feeling nervous or exposed, right? Maybe not necessarily feeling adequate, or like, maybe there being a big aspect of fearfulness or angry, right? With the red, which might be bitter, mad, aggressive, distant, critical, withdrawn, hostile, provoked, jealous. You know, like what are the truths behind it? If it is happy, is it meant to be a happy place, but it's not? Is it meant to be happy, playful, content, interested, like something that really gives us a trust and gives us layers, right? Of optimism, of feeling like creative and loving and whatnot, but yet it's on the opposite side of the spectrum, so it feels as though it's clashing. So then is it for some that this is a happy place and they don't fully know it, and for others it's meant to cause anger and humiliation and aggressiveness and frustration and distance and like all of these emotions? Like the fact that like these two colors are on opposite ends for me highlights that there was a lot of thought put into this. Besides a lot of thought, it was meant as a way for me that, like, you know, this world that we're going into, that it's not necessarily gonna be as, like, you know, happy-go-lucky as we might assume. All right, another one that you guys pointed out in here is the green, right? Which is, you know, an aspect of like out of control, unfocusedness, bad, bored. When again, this is when you're coloring out your emotions, right? Apathetic, pressured, rushed, which we can go ahead and wonder, are these emotions gonna transfer into some of these characters? Of course, green just symbolizes grass, right? But the fact that, like, number one, this is the first shot that we get, and the first thing that stands out to me, aside from the grass, aside from whatnot, is the way that the tent is colored. Ooh, ooh. All right, let's keep going. Sorry, we're gonna take it through character by character here.
Welcome to the amazing
All right, chat, what colors?
digital circus.
It's a bunch of red, which makes me like, considering that this is a lot of red that we're seeing on here, especially for them, it makes me wonder how much control means for them, right? And how much maybe like there's a fear of humiliation, right? How much there might be a fear of like letting others down, a fear of like being betrayed or being disrespected or being ridiculed or being like all of these emotions that might play into this character. You know, anger, yeah, anger hiding behind the surface. Because another big element that we touched on was the archetypes, right? And we touched on the archetypes to highlight, like, you know, where does Caine see himself? How does he want to portray himself versus what is the internal mask that he wears that he doesn't want to let slip? And what are the key areas that that's struggling with, right? Is it control? Is it innovation? And I know we touched on it last time, but it's like, is anger at the, like, behind the mask for Caine, where anger and all these emotions might be one of the driving factors, not necessarily anger, but like the fear of, you know, being let go or being humiliated or being numb, right? Oh, 100% Remy K. Being ridiculed, right? Is that the driving force or one of the many driving forces that pushes Caine to be who they are, right? Not only that, look at the eye colors, green and blue, right? Bad, bored, busy, stressed, tired, and different, apathetic, pressured, rushed, overwhelmed, out of control, sleepy, and unfocused, right? And then when we're jumping into, what's up, Chef's Media? When we're jumping into the blue in his eyes as well, guess what? Now we have sad as well, which makes me wonder, is this someone, right, that, like, again, the layers of masking in these characters that may be, you know, dealing with symptoms of sadness, of like not necessarily being the best, right? All while having a mask of trying to be this ruler and control character, but yet being afraid of losing control, being afraid of being, you know, disrespected, of being resentful, of being violated. And therefore, if any of these instances, for example, if any of these instances were to be like crossed, what would happen to this character? Does he overexert control in these elements? Does he pop off and really show his bad or sad sides? Or does he use them as tools to go ahead and gain sympathy? Now, those are the questions that we should be asking in this regard. No worries, Shavs. We'll figure something out. Yeah, I waited for like 30 something minutes. I was like, oh, is it still going on? But we'll take care of it. But yeah. That's the main regard, is what do these colors mean? And if I'm close, cool. If I'm not, no worries. Again, this is just the intro to this show. We don't know what we don't know. I'm just going off of what's in there, you know. No, you're good, Chevs. You're good. And then even more so, right? It comes in another element. The Caine that they have here to showcase that they're a ringleader, right, interesting that they have that to even solidify power, right? Fearful, right? Again, what does it mean to have control? I don't know, but you guys can tell me.
My name is Caine. I'm your ringmaster, and I'm here to show you the most jaw-dropping, heart-stopping, mind-bending paraphernalia you've ever laid your eyes upon. Isn't that right, Bubble?
That's right, Caine. I can't wait to see what you've got cooking up for today.
Well, let's not waste any time. Let's get...
Okay, Bubbles. Hold on, let me see if I can get this back up, because anytime that I move it even slightly, it just goes haywire, you know? Okay, here we go. Bubbles. Why do I feel like Bubbles might also have a giant mask, chat? Why do I feel like Bubbles might also be a giant form of masking, where they might be cute on the outside but not so cute on the inside? Or they might just be an absolutely adorable character used as a way to go ahead and trick us in huge manners, you know? I don't know. I don't know. That's on me. That is on me. But anyway. Oh, the mods are putting no spoilers, please. No spoilers. Walk with us, you know, join us as we do an episode analysis, but please don't spoil to all the YouTube video, like, you know, Vods watchers out there.
Get right into the show.
And then with the mask that we see as well, right? One of the instances that this reminds me of is like how back in the days people would classify. I know we went the theater route last time, but let's talk about historically as well. How do people classify individuals that are on like you know, extreme emotional highs and lows, like people on this like, you know, either the bipolar spectrum or anything like that? Usually, right, they classify them not necessarily by their, like, you know, by the positive emotions, but by a lot of like the highs and lows. So like the manic and not manic episodes or depressive episodes that we see, right? And how does that like transform into real life, right? You have a lot of individuals. Oh, hold on. What the? A lot of individuals that only see, unfortunately, only see individuals as your diagnosis and not necessarily as the person that they might be. I don't know. I think a lot of the time they just say hysterical or crazy. Yeah, no, it's extremely stigmatized, Remy. That's what I'm saying, is a lot of individuals will literally just only remember like the manic or depressive episodes and be like, they're crazy. Unfortunately, society still has extreme stigmatizations as to what that may be. Considering that they have a mask, right, and they're only made of ribbons, how secure are they? I guess that's the number one question that I have, is how secure are they in themselves and in others, right? Is this a forced smile, or is this something that genuinely comes through? And even more so, like for me, it makes me wonder for this character in particular. This is Gangle, right? Because I'm looking at the lyrics. This is Gangle, right? For Gangle in particular, what does it mean for them to lose, like for them to let loose? For them to be able to fully express themselves and, you know, shoot off at the hip if need be, right? Like legitimately be able to go ahead and be themselves and not feel overly pressured to attune to others. All right, anyway. And again, I might be really, really wrong. This is not a prediction channel. It's an analysis channel. This is just going off of the way that we're seeing and encountering things. And some of the questions that would pop up, like number one, you know what? Like I see that you might have a little bit of a forced smile here. It's like, do you often do this with others? How often can you be yourself in front of others? Or how, like, you know, what does it look like in your best days and in your worst days, right? We've talked a little bit about Zubo here and how they're a fraction, like, you know, all their body's parts doesn't necessarily all seem congruent, right? And it makes me wonder if Zubo's comfortable in their own body just based on the design, right? I.e., one of their legs is smooth, the other one really isn't. They have like, you know, dangles and like, you know, a bunch of like random aspects all over them, and it makes me all over them. And it makes me wonder for them in particular, like, number one, how do they attach to others? And you'll hear this question a lot. And then how comfortable are they with themselves? Again, I use they, them for a lot of these characters, and if I accidentally say he, him, she, her, I apologize in advance. Not until they fully state, you know, what their pronouns are when we jump into that. Okay, Kinger. This one's an interesting one. Oh, and by the way, I just straight up jumped into like I straight up just jumped into this and I didn't even like take the time to pull out the wheel here. All right, Google. Makes me wonder, are they distant? You see how the colors don't necessarily always have to be like anger at the forefront, but like, are they distant? Do you think that they might be a little withdrawn? Do you think that they might have a little bit feelings, or there's a fear of maybe being ridiculed or disrespected, or maybe you know, individuals being dismissive with them, or maybe individuals being critical with them? You know, that's one aspect. And then you also have like, you know, the white face, like, you know, the white mask. So it makes me wonder, what does that mean for them, right? Like, how do they transition with that? And does anger have any motivating factor altogether for them? All right, let's go on to the next one. Sorry, let's just quick. All right, Zubul. Now Zubul is quite an interesting individual, right? Because they have a pinkish character to them, right? Orange spot, so maybe there might be a little bit of fear. You know, it's all sorts of emotions, surprise, you know, anger, fearful, happy. And if you look at these are emotions again that are contradicting one another, right? Happy and anger, fearful and surprise, they're not necessarily in line with one another. It's like, you know, on the opposite ends here where they're clashing a bit. So again, is this an insight into their own mentality? Is this an insight where they don't fully even understand where they are and they're trying to figure themselves out? That is the question that I have. And I might be wrong. Zubul might just be an altogether, you know, reigning individual that fully understands themselves. But the way that I'm catching this, or the way that I'm understanding this, is that considering all the colors that are like, you know, that they represent, it's like they're caught in the middle, and it's like, how do they feel, right? And again, that's the real question to ask. How does this character feel when altogether their color psychology is showcasing? I don't know, right? So it's like, do they even understand themselves, right? So Zubul is a character that I would love, like, you know, for them to, or just to like poke at their brain a little bit, right? Yes, this is the first time watching the Amazing Digital Circus. We did just do the intro last time, but we always find new things to analyze in the intro. YouTube, I'm sorry, especially for those in the comment section being like, why are you doing the intro again? Just skip forward. There's gonna be a timestamp for you to go and find the you know, the when we actually start the episode. I hope that helps you out a little bit. Also, hi, Orange Boy. Anyway, like, I would love to see what a therapy session with Zubul would look like, and particularly what they would bring up or what they would like to talk about, you know. All right, let's keep going. All right, Kinger. Surprised, confused, startled, amazed, shocked, dismayed, disillusioned, perplexed, astonished, awed, eager, energetic. So for me, the way that I'm looking at them already, they look startled, they look confused. Does the purple match this at the moment? Yeah, a little bit. Maybe with a little bit of, you know, if we're gonna put their blue eyes into it for whatever reason, sure, right? Maybe a little lonely, vulnerable. Ooh, wait a minute. Blue and purple there. Hold on. Sorry, chat. I'm getting excited here because there's a little bit of, like, you know, the dark spots in his jacket, right? Or in his kingly coat. Disapproving, disappointed, repelled, judge, embarrassed, you know, maybe revolted. Does Kinger know more than they let on? Chat, does Kinger maybe have some secrets, right? Layered in through, you know, what the experience is, that has them acting like they're surprised and maybe sad at the same time. Maybe they know more than they let on, but maybe there's aspects of confusion, of loneliness, of maybe, like, you know, guilt or depression, or being like a vulnerable character that also has to go ahead and be nauseated with the facts as to, like, what they might actually know. You know, like, considering that the three main colors that I'm seeing here is purple, blue, and kind of gray and black. You know, that's just something that comes through in this regard, right? It's like, where does this come in? And again, conflicting colors, right? Surprised and disgusted, right? Or surprised and you know, appalled or revolted or nauseated or horrified, right? It makes you wonder, what do they truly know, and then how do they come to this knowledge if they know anything? How offline life I have a very flat, people take it as not being interested. Yeah, no, Remy, absolutely, it can be, right? Because one's affect, right, affects a lot of individuals, like perception of you, you know, or perceptions altogether. So looking at it, it just makes me wonder for Kinger, where do they stand in this? And if this speaks value or in any capacity to who they are as a character, again, this is the color psychology wheel. Sometimes it rings true, sometimes it doesn't. It's based on a per culture, per element. This is based on more of a North American color psychology wheel than pretty much anything else. Anyway. Okay. All right, Ragatha. We already talked about their people-pleasing tendencies, right? Or what looks to be like this mask that they're wearing to try and go ahead and people-please, despite having, like, you know, a button for an eye and a bunch of holes all around their things. It's as though they're trying to go ahead and keep up this fake smile, right? But yet, looking at the color psychology wheel, we see surprised, right? Confused, startled, disillusioned. Ooh, that's a good one. Perplexed, right? Astonished, eager and energetic, like all of these, shocked, dismayed, being used in here, along with the red, which angry, right? Distant, critical, numb, withdrawn, annoyed, dismayed. So it makes me wonder, for them, are they trying too hard? Is this a character that maybe tries too hard to be loved? Is this a character that maybe jumps in and tries their hardest to try and feel some sort of love and affection? And these colors represent, you know, and what they're wearing represents, like, considering the fact that they have a lot of holes in their outfits and stuff, represents a little bit of that internal turmoil, or that turmoil where they've been, like, haven't been treated the best, right? But yet they're still trying their hardest to try and feel some sort of love and emotion, or some sort of, like, trying to fit in some capacity, you know, Raggedy Ann type of thing, you know? And of course, then we have this character, Jax, right? Who again is the emotions that we might more closely align it to, like angry, surprise, maybe some fear in there, maybe a little bit of sadness, you know. If, well, not even sadness, like either fearful or happiness. I don't know if that's yellow or if that's like orangey yellow. You know, it's up to you guys to decide. Drink your water, Shav. No. Like, where does this come through, you know? Hold on, chat. Like, where does this come through? Sorry. All right, here we go. It's interesting that Jax and Ragatha share the same kind of color palette. It is. And it's also interesting that, like, positionally, it changes how they might come through, right? Because again, is Jax a character that maybe does have some some instances that they're trying to go ahead and, I don't know, deal with, or fear, or maybe there's a little bit of anger mixed in with surprise, like, right, feelings of being surprised, startled, confused, maybe disillusioned, right? But yet the way, again, you can feel these emotions, but, and I'm going to highlight this, right, and we might go through a lot of the similar emotions, the way of your upbringing, right, your attachment styles, everything impacts how you're able to cope with it and who you are as a person. These are just conceptualizing, like, hey, there's these emotions, this is a character, now we need to understand their background to see how they cope with these emotions, right? Because we have a similar color palette. However, something that a lot of people won't touch on is, in theater, we call these like levels, right? There are different levels.
Can't wait to see what you've got cooking up for today.
Well, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into the show.
They have different levels of like power, right? Up, down, which is interesting. A king is on the floor in his pillow fort. That, what does that say about positionally? Where are they in their power dynamics, right? Ragatha, you know, trying to stand up, trying to be friendly, take center stage there, you know, but yet he's laying down, or Jax is laying down and takes up more of the stage just by laying down. That's an interesting little tricks that you like, you know, even in theater, you always have to be thinking about how much space do you take? Does your character take up that much space? What is that showcasing in this altogether? Is it a lax nature? Have they maybe conformed to being in here? Yo, what's up, Uriel? All right, Kaufmo is the other character that we're looking into, and then I'm a little afraid about Kaufmo. I think something horrible probably happened to Kaufmo, in some capacity. What's up, Uriel? Something horrible might have happened to Kaufmo, and yeah. Anyway, this is particularly why, right? Again, the color wheel. What do we see? Sad, blue, right? Fearful for orange. Happy for yellow. I guess if we're gonna include that, right? And like, you know, the mouth is red, so a little bit of anger, right? So again, conflicting emotions all together. Which, if you look at the entire color wheel, I'll bring it all the way up again. You guys are able to go ahead and decide what lines of emotions best think about it. But the colors make sense too. Yeah. So I don't know. It just ties in very, very nicely whenever we look at things like this. All right, and Kaufmo. Where are you, Kaufmo? Kaufmo did not show up today. Those are almost the same Kaufmo. Yeah. Is the repetitive aspect, is this like the day after day after day after, just showcasing that it happens endlessly, or is it glitching? Chat? Interesting, we get a bunch of the yeah, 3 on each side, right? But how many characters are there? Bubble, yes. Yes, it's glitching. Okay, this is glitching. Look like it's the same little bubble that's being popped over and over again. One. Or unless it just happens endlessly like this, right? Where you have... So that not everything as it seems, or not everything is running smoothly. If the matter of fact is that this is glitching out like this, and this is supposed to be a like smooth, like number one, Kaufmo's not in here, right? And number two, it's glitching out like this. Does this showcase that maybe things aren't fully in control or running as smoothly as we're led to believe? Like, is Caine even in full control here, or are things starting to glitch out like this? Because again, there is not that full control. Now let's take a look at a little bit of what's in here, right? We have chat, if you guys can help me out with this, a flower pot, a record, right? An eyeball, a teapot, so a flower, an eyeball, a record player, a teapot, a pyramid? Is that like a white cue ball? Or is that just like a regular ball? Sorry, chat. And they're important questions to ask, because then it's making me wonder, do these 6 items... Maslow's hierarchy of needs floating around. I know, right, Bleak? But do these 6 items pertain particularly to these individuals?
Well, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into the show.
And if so, where does each one fall into? Where does each one fall into? If there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm guessing, like, just out of I don't know, instance here. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I am wrong. Maybe I'm extremely wrong. Stalking. Yeah, but they didn't have to include 6 items like this, but yet they did, right? Because there's 6 characters. So again, where does this fall into? I'm guessing that the flower, right, more than likely represents Kaufmo, right? Clown, flower. Yeah. What about the record player? What do you think, chat? The teapot, or the giant triangle, or the eyes. Like, let's break this down. Well, isn't hold on.
Right into the show.
Jingle and Super and King are too. Jingle and Super and King are too. Ragatha, Jax and Kaufmo will.
Ragatha's missing an eye. Ragatha is missing an eye. They have a button for an eye. Unless it's Kinger, right? Yeah, Ragatha's the only character that's missing an eye. We've already established that Caine is probably overseeing all of this, but it's like everything. It may. Oh, this is gonna sound really weird and really fucked up, and I know it is. Is being a part of this digital circus, did it cost these characters something? Like, for these characters, maybe giving a part of themselves to unknowingly or knowingly be a part of this, right? And it legitimately cost them a part of themselves in some capacity. Maybe a part that actually represents them fully thriving or fully being who they're supposed to be. Maybe it could be like an aspect of, you know, this is the closest thing that represents, say, this character, right? Or for Ragatha, like, they cost them their eyes, your ability to truly see what's in front of them. Or maybe Jax is the cue ball, I don't know, or this ball here, right? Maybe Zubul is this you know, this triangle here that's supposed to represent like conformity on all sides, right? Something that, you know, is 90 degrees at all edges and fully understands themselves. Maybe the king is the record player or the teapot, or, you know, the other character is one of these, right? Because it should all represent something to each one of these characters in some capacity. Seeing the fact that we do have bubbles in the stars, right, and we already know that they're being watched because it's already established beforehand, this might just reinforce that, but there's more to it than just that. Especially if we're starting to find out that this is glitching, then doesn't it showcase that there's more value to these items being showcased here? Anyway, I might be overcooking here. I'm sorry, chat. And the representation of the digital nature of the circus. It could be, but that's the thing. Is it, for me, it feels as though, yes, they're showcasing the nature of the digital circus going round and round, but it's glitching, and even more so of a fact, the fact that these, like, there's 6 specific items and 6 characters that were introduced. I don't know. For me, it showcases that this is more of a symbolic representation of these characters in some capacity, and maybe this digital circus is taking something from them. Could be this as a metaphorical representation as to what it's taking. Could actually be taking memories or sense of self, you know, in that. Like, this to me is more of a representation of how fake it is. This digital circus, right? The moon and the sun. And then this character comes in, right? And what do we see off of this, chat? again, the main colors, blue, red, and yellow. The main colors, oh, yeah, blue, red, and yellow. I love the fact that, again, highlighting this, right? Maybe some aspects of loneliness, vulnerability, despair, right? Red and yellow. Or, you know, so how can it counter maybe some happiness, sadness? Maybe they're a character, right, that is in a big way maybe too trusting. Maybe it's gonna go ahead and help others attach, but maybe there's layers of fear, of anger, of sadness mixed in with this character, right? Maybe this character is gonna be that changing motivational force that allows others to start the process of change as well.
The Jax and Ragatha.
Blue, red, yellow, orange. Blue, red, yellow, orange. Unless that's red. Anyway. There's so much to analyze in this. I could take me another hour, but we'll continue from there and say, hey, it only took us like 40 minutes to get through the intro this time. We're getting there. Yay. Could be, absolutely, Shavs. The idea is to represent truth through enlightenment. Deception, withholding the truth. Yeah. The imagery might symbolize installing human introspection. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it's all part of their design, right? And especially with Caine, as we keep looking into this. For me, there's a lot of symbolism just hidden in this, which is great. The stolen introspection idea. Yeah. Yeah. Are you returning to the show? Yeah, Thunder Biome. We mentioned that we would tackle it, right? Evie, welcome on in. Why are you awake, Evie? Shouldn't you be asleep? Shouldn't you be Mimi's? All right, here we go. Good introspection, chat. Love it. Son, don't know. See, the exit's a lie. The exit's a lie. Yeah, and we don't know why. I know. Talk about really big elements all too. So they might not fully understand the concept as to what? Why did they look like a little animal right there? Hold on, chat. Sorry. Is that just like a baby version of them? They look like a little animal or something, like, you know. And then it fully starts. No worries, Evie. Anyway, they fully come into being, right? Into existence. First question they ask is, where is she? Her eyes, or their eyes, are pink. Clearly. Or it might just be the introspection of the red and blue, you know, going around. But anyway, they don't fully understand where they are. And in case you guys are wondering, can this be traumatic? Can this be traumatic? The answer to that is yes. there's an aspect called displacement trauma, which is, and like, I'm not sure if you guys have seen any anime or anything like this, where boom, you get transported to another world. What a lot of people don't touch on is how traumatic that is, because guess what? If you are an individual, right, a human being, you've now lost out on this. Oh, hell yeah. No, it'd be extreme trauma, because all of a sudden you've literally shot down all the way down to the bottom of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where you no longer know if your food is safe, water safe, you know, all of this safety, security, physiological needs, love and belonging, everything gets cracked all the way down to the bottom. But a lot of people don't like to touch on that, on elements like that. So seeing the reaction to freaking out and trying to find an exit almost immediately highlights like, hey, that is very, very well done, because I think a majority of us would be freaking out immediately if something like this happened, right? And even more so, right? Oh, might have flipped this a long time ago. I gotta reflip this. Hold on. There we go. I don't know why I flipped that, but sure. What happens to us? This is the polyvagal chart, right? Showcases how we go up and down. The moment that our Maslow's hierarchy of needs crack, we go all the way up to an aspect of like fight, flight, going all the way into freeze, into trying to understand our environment. And they're not going to come back down into social engagement, into the aspects like, number one, their needs start being met and they understand that they are in a safer environment, you know? TADC, The Amazing, is one of those shows that you'll have to go. Yeah. Also have some why people may not be people that hate the world. Day after day, honestly, it's always reads to me as a pretty creepy reference. Yeah, no, 100%. Verbalize modern human life for many people. A lot of people don't, exactly, Chef. A lot of people don't fully understand what they're even doing in life, right? A lot of people don't have a sense of goal or purpose, unfortunately, or trying to find themselves a point. And it happens, right? We're all trying to find a purpose in some capacity, but some individuals don't fully understand why they're doing what they're doing. They just want to go ahead and survive, and that's okay, you know. But I will say, please seek professional help from your area. I'm a psychologist, not your psychologist. I always highlight this at the beginning of every VOD, but please, if you're struggling through any mental health issues or anything like this, please go through, right? I know if I didn't exist 1 second, then next I'd be freaking out. No, same. Interesting how there's the exit, right? Supposed to be an exit door. Then after the exit dissipates, Caine's top hat comes through. It makes me wonder, in particular, how much, like, I don't know, if this is the whole purpose of this circus, is to keep us trapped in here. Ooh. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so the flower pot hits the ground and starts glitching through the ground. That's a bit of an abnormal behavior. Ooh, okay. It's really glitching on through. That is really... It's clipping, not glitching. Clipping, sure. It's still abnormal though. That is very, very weird, but interesting, the fact that it's collision physics. Oh no.
Caine, is this one of your NPCs or is this a new sucker?
NPCs. So Caine can summon non-player characters. Are they? Are they? Or is this a new sucker? What do you mean? Ooh. Okay. Oh, I'm sure it'll be explained.
Because if it's a new character, we're gonna have to redo this whole theme song. I'm not doing
His whole issue is like, yo, we're gonna have to go ahead and like jump right back into this and re-record this. Like, oh, Zubul. Oh. Remy, no, 100%. If Caine can summon NPCs and make NPCs realistic, that would make me question who is real and who isn't, you know?
It's a new character. We're gonna have to redo this whole theme song.
I like Jax. He's kind of funny.
Song.
I'm not doing that again.
My! It appears a new human has entered this realm!
Okay, human. Huh. How are they sure that they're not NPCs, chat? Is there like something defining? Like that really showcases that, you know, hey, you know what? They are actually humans? Because what's not to say that this isn't. Yeah. Yeah.
Take this headset off!
Just keep grabbing at it. That worked for all of us.
Oh, God.
What's going on? I put on some weird headset and now I'm here. Who are you people?
Oh, the legs shaking, you know, inwardly. Oh, of course. I love the fact that we're saying like the over like animated aspects of like, you know, pulling your eye, like trying to pull your eyes out in order to take off your heads. It's all of this. Like that's really, really cool. But at the same time, it's like, okay, so they have human memories of putting on the headset before coming into the circus. But the question still remains, how do they not know that those memories are fabricated? I know the body language here is awesome to see. But it's like if you suddenly come to being like this and you don't even know what an NPC is or what isn't. Who are you people? Also, Kinger, you know.
Why can't I take it off? Where am I?
Let's just try to calm down. Everything's gonna be okay, new stuff. We've all been through this. You just need to get your head
What
to...
What the boing is going on? Oh, she's also really they're also really tiny compared to the rest of the group. Yeah.
Okay, new
Look at them. Like that's exactly it. That's the reaction I think a lot of us would have, right? Just like freaking out.
stuff.
What I love about this is it's showcasing again. Number one, Kinger's more in an aware stance. Jax is like, okay, whatever.
Where am I?
Let's just try...
What does Ragatha try and do first? Chat. What is Ragatha's first response in here? To de-escalate, right? Not only is Ragatha trying to go ahead and, I know, ground, right? She's trying to ground. She's trying to go ahead and de-escalate. They're trying to go ahead and...
Try to calm down. Everything's gonna be okay, new stuff.
They're the first one that's trying to go ahead and attach. Which is interesting. Jax does it in a way where it's like, oh, you know, they're always joking around, and Kinger's like, you know, like kind of tweaking out there, kind of little like just who is this, you know? But Ragatha's just approaching them.
We've all been through this. Just try to calm down. Everything's gonna be okay, new stuff. We've all been through this. You just need to get your head to...
No, my dear. We can't have any of that foul language around here. The
Oh.
Amazing Digital Circus is a place to be enjoyed by all ages.
Oh,
You,
okay.
my friend, stumbled into an incredible world of wonders where anything can happen. Except for swearing.
Yeah, I would be trying out everything in different languages too. Let's see what...
Oh my god.
Oh no! Oh no! Yeah, same. Oh, I really want you to take a that's great.
Well, how do I, leave?
Well, don't freak out about it or anything, but, we don't exactly...
You can't.
Why? Hold on. This is terrifying. This is absolutely fucking terrifying. Let's talk about it for a second here. Also, Bleak, I might need your help making a good thumbnail for this. If you can help. Arigato. let's talk about this. If you can't leave a game that you entered or an environment like that you might enter, it's an existential terror. Not only that, comes in comes in my main regard with this. No, there's a couple things that come in. Number one, yeah, Sword Art Online. Exactly, it's the whole Sword Art Online experience. How do we know? Let's say that all of these individuals were humans, right? Before they came in here, not NPCs. Let's give that credit, right? How do we know that the humans are still logged in? And that these aren't just their player avatars? That maybe has a collection of their mind collective in a way that like Sword Art Online or some of these other anime or games have explored, like Log Horizon or other stuff out there, right? And when she mentioned the headset, yeah, no, that's immediately where my head went into. It's like Sword Art Online, Log Horizon, no worries, Chevs. Like all of these anime and video game mediums. So it's coming into my perspective, or like, you know, one of my first thoughts is, okay, what's not to say that this isn't a place that's maybe not necessarily an active place. Oh, Soma apparently, you know, but more so like, you know, a glitched out space, right? Or a deviant space where characters, player characters can't get their characters back in some capacity, right? Or even more so, take it a step further, that it isn't just a collection of their own being altogether, because when we play characters, we give them our own personality in some capacity. And if that's not the case, if these are actually NPCs being led to believe that they're human, they can't really escape this amazing digital circus, then what? Learned helplessness is a very real thing, and it can altogether end up in hopelessness, causing individuals to do some very abnormal stuff, right? Not abnormal, but like risk-taking behavior that ends up being quite dangerous to them, like a danger to self or danger to others. You know, if you don't feel like you have control over your life, you really, like, you know, it can really become a big danger to yourself or a danger to others. The amazing digital circus residents are darkners confirmed. Oh god. So I hope that kind of makes sense, chat. If any of the conversation or any of the topics that I'm touching on is a little too like, whoa, explain yourself, please do let me know. I'd love to go ahead and explain myself. But whenever it comes to instances like this, it automatically hits into like, okay, where's Kaufmo at, right? This character comes into being. There's no exit apparently, even though if it is a game or if it is anything digital, there should be an exit in some capacity. Anyway, sorry, chat. How do they know the world they came from is real? If they didn't have their memories, would they freak out? Well, that's a good question. Is how do they know? Well, how do they even know that they're real, Darble? Right? Yeah, it's a Deltarune reference for Darkners. Like, how do they even know that they're real at this point in time and that they're not an NPC? Or even more so than this, that they haven't, this isn't like, if these individuals are being able to go to be brought into being like this, right? A, B, C, and it's just continuously being brought. Well, it's not to say that, like, this isn't the 888th iteration of this character. What's not to say that like these characters don't come in a fresh slate and it's just endlessly repeating itself, because again, like the theme song says, day after day after day after day, you know, what's not to say that this isn't a reiteration, constant reiteration of these characters consistently being brought back in different, you know, capacities, right? The same way that like when you play Sims, right? But again, they believe that they're human. So we'll take that into consideration. Anyways, so apologies. That's just another line of thinking where my mind's gone into. And I might be overcooking. I might be way off the line, and that's okay. It happens. Anyway, let me back it up now. Am I real? Don't come to you in that situation. Those existential questions only come after you have a grounded solution. However, those existential questions will come. Because at the end of the day, right? at the end of the day, you need to be in a situation where you feel safe and comfortable to start intellectualizing at a higher level. Now, can you have those immediately in fight or flight? You can, but you're more than likely going to dismiss it to get your immediate needs met. However, as individuals that we currently are looking in, right, because we're not in the situation at this point in time, we're viewers looking in, that's one of the big questions that comes through. Yo, good morning, Siwan, how you doing? And missed out on theorizing because of ads. Also, yeah, thanks so much for gifting out a sub to Remy K. I appreciate it. And one of the questions I was bringing up is, we went through quite a bit, but one of the last questions I was bringing up is, how do we not know that these characters don't get, like, aren't NPCs, don't get their minds, like, wiped, and, like, have, like, a... Like, for example, what's not to say that this isn't the 888th reiteration of this character through a different lens or perspective, where they're not exited out, but like blinked out and then brought back in the future tense, right? When needed. What, like, you know, how do we know that they are human characters, right? There's a lot of questions. Either they're trapped SAO style, or there's more to it than it seems. There's a lot of amazing intricacies. We'll keep going.
Caine, is this one of your NPCs or is this a new sucker? Because if it's a new character, we're gonna have to redo this whole theme song.
I'm not doing that again.
Oh my! It appears a new human has entered this realm!
Again, so how long has Zubul been here? For them to say again, it means that this is at least their second time going through it, right? Or unless it's their first and they just don't want to do it again.
Not doing that again.
Yeah.
My! It appears a new human has
My
entered
bad.
this realm!
How do I take this headset off?
Just keep grabbing at it. That works for all of us.
Oh God.
What's going on? I put on some weird headset and now I'm here. Who are you people?
Oh.
Why can't I take it off? Where am I?
Let's just try to calm down. Everything's gonna be okay, new stuff. We've all been through this. You just need to get your head
What
to...
the f is going on?
No, my dear. We can't have any of that foul language around here. The amazing digital circus is a place to be enjoyed by all ages. You, my friend, stumbled into an incredible world of
shivering, I
wonders
know,
where
alien.
Anything can happen. Except for swearing.
Oh my god. Well, how do I,
Okay, so question for y'all. How would you feel if your ability to swear was taken from you? And why do you think that swearing is actually helpful for a lot of people? It's a stress reliever, all right? For a lot of individuals, when you don't have to censor yourself, you allow yourself to be true in that manner, right? It allows you the freedom of expression of self, right? And the ability to go ahead and release some of that stress. So it's interesting that in this digital world, they can't swear. This is episode 1. It can be suffocating, right? So there's a it would make me a bit anxious. Yeah, no, 100%. I'd immediately look for words that aren't banned. Same. But and that's the main regard when we're thinking about this, Mickey and others, is don't you think that this feels more torturous than anything else? This amazing digital circus kind of seems like a torture place. There's no exit. You can't swear. And be like, I'm not the swearing kind of, but you know, having the option taken still kind of feels, I'd feel censored. No, 100%. 100%. It would suck, but I'd be more worried I can't swear. Yeah, no. Back in the 80s was a famous song. But even past that, right? Like, there's a couple big things that come through. It's like, how do they know that they can't leave? First and foremost, right? Number 2, also positionally, the fact that Caine can float and is just looking down at them, power dynamics. But number 3, when we're looking at this, ooh, Oh. Sorry, my mind immediately starts going into like how messed up this place can actually get, considering just some of the premises that we're seeing here. Oh.
No. Leave?
Well, don't freak out about it or anything, but, we don't exactly...
You can't.
Jax. But yeah, he's right. Welcome to your new home.
Oh.
And your new body.
A new home?
Whoa.
Right. Welcome to your new home. And your new body.
So it's not even like your new avatar, right? This is your new body. And the fact that Zubo even brings it up, it kind of makes me wonder if maybe I'm a little bit right on Zubo not being comfortable in their own body. Considering that this is the first line that's really being brought up, like full length line, not just I'm not gonna do that again. Yeah.
A new home?
Stuck here for years. Old Kinger over there's supposedly been here the longest.
Did someone say something about an insect collection?
Oh.
That's why he's crazy.
Is he?
We've been stuck here for years. Old Kinger over there's supposedly been here the longest.
Is Kinger crazy?
Did someone say something about an insect collection?
You know what that reminds me of? I have a client that's in their late 70s, early 80s. And their mind kind of comes and goes. Like they're best way that I can put it is when they're here, right? When they're present, they're very much present, right? But a lot of times they seem to be coming and going into like hobbies, into past collections. They're always trying to go ahead and reference something else, right? And they're always preoccupied in their own thoughts as opposed to trying to be present. But whenever they're present, they're quite literally like they're there, right? And they're there in that regard. It's just the layers of worry, right, as to what they have to go ahead and think about is always at a higher level, as to considering, life's end and 1,001 other things that I've heard from them. Dementia. Well, dementia can be processed by a number of things, right? Like, and then, well, it depends. How long have they been there, right? Is it hereditary or is it like something that runs in their family? Have there been cognitive declines? Do they have moments of lucidity versus non-lucidity? What does the onset look like, right? But altogether with it, like it can be a number of things. That's why I'm like looking at a character like this.
They've supposedly been here the longest.
Did someone say something about an insect collection?
That's why he's crazy.
I don't think he's crazy, Jax. I just think that, he might have some lucid moments and not so lucid moments,
Oh, okay, now I get it. This is a dream.
I love seeing like the little like scramble in their eyes to try and ration everything out.
That's why he's crazy.
The denial, yeah. Which, let's highlight it. Perfect time. We're going to talk about grief in a second here, but let's talk about defense mechanisms here. What is the defense mechanism that they're currently using, chat? By the way, these are like a list, and apologies, it is temperature's been wild lately. Denial deflection is one of them. A lot of these characters, especially when you start encountering issues, will start picking up some sort of defense mechanisms to try and go ahead and, well, actually, here comes the main thing with Kinger. Do you think it's hold on, yeah, I was about to say with Kinger, do you think it might be instances of memory issues or regression, especially if they've encountered something horrific or maybe something that can go ahead and cause them to act that way, where they have to cope by falling into childlike patterns and maybe dissociate altogether, because it might be easier for them to go ahead and dissociate and act like, oh, what's going on, than it is for them to face the actual truth. Or maybe they might have some lucidity issues. Who knows? Displacement kind of works. Yeah, absolutely. Expressing feelings that would be threatening if directed onto the real target, onto a less substitute target, right? I might even be like, hey, you know what? That might not necessarily be there. But denial is one that isn't necessarily on here, you know, but it should be. Denial is a big one altogether. But also, they're gonna have to go through grief. In case y'all don't know, this is what grief commonly looks like, right? You either go through shock, numbness, denial, outburst, weight loss. You know, you could go through a number of things. To protest, increased shock, preoccupations with thoughts about like self and deceased or whatever might be going on, right? And you either deteriorate, crying, loss of self-criticism, guilt, hyperventilation, difficulty swallowing, difficulty breathing, sweating, nausea, right? Disorganization, more confusion, depression, withdrawal, right? This a reorganization, trying to find new meanings, and you either go through it again and try to recover, or you deteriorate further. This is what a grief wheel looks like, and this is what grief happens to a majority of us when we go through it. Sometimes we skip a stage, sometimes we go through it really quickly, but at times it can take up a majority of our own being there. Anyway.
Oh, okay, now I get it. This is a dream, and I should just play along until I wake up, right?
Whatever you say, kid.
Oh.
I broke my comedy mask.
Oh.
So, Caine, we having a new adventure?
Jax, you don't have to do. Oh no!
I broke my comedy mask.
And again, masking.
So, Caine, we having a new adventure?
Oh, Jax, why'd you have to step right over it? That's horrible. Oh, the other one's tragedy mask. Neither one is real, right?
Today for the newbie or what?
I'd like to give our brand new member a tour of the circus grounds first. Off we go! Here
Oh,
we have the tent. This is where your living quarters are, as well as all sorts of other activities. These activities may include...
this computer has been. This problem seems to be caused by a fault in non-paged area. If this is your first time your computer a problem has been detected in your computer, Windows. Disable the BIOS memory. Yeah. Interesting. Caine runs on Windows, confirmed. Much information. Interesting. With how things must be Vista. No, but even more so, it's making me wonder, right? If this isn't just like eating up resources or causing crashes like this because of the amount of data, information, whatnot that it may be using to keep this place up and running. And if Caine is really, yeah, too many people, yeah, too many like details and stuff being it reminds me of my old computer that could barely handle OBS and would crash every time. Chat, which version of Windows is this? Does anybody know? Has been detected. It seems to be the cause by new human must take up a lot. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is it makes me wonder about this quite a bit. Maybe if this isn't meant to necessarily keep, depending on the, yeah. I'm sure any new hardware installation Never thought about that before. What, like how much data it must take? Yeah. No, absolutely. Might they be deflecting? Sure, 100%, right? Might this be a huge deflection altogether? Absolutely. However, the fact that this pops up showcases that, hey, maybe this is actually does take up a lot of RAM, a lot of VRAM memory usage, more so than they're willing to go ahead and admit. And even more so, the fact that things were glitching out earlier makes me wonder if those glitches are outside of their control, because this is happening because they don't necessarily, like, they maybe put in too many assets, too many resources, too many everything. All right, let's go.
May include
The dial-up tone.
ball hits, mini golf, and more.
Wow.
And here we have
But I see Tenna and Javon. Hi, Harish. Windows XP, is it, Daddy Cloister? Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, the sky does look like separate spheres, and the fact that there's a little town there, that's interesting, right? So is there no way to escape this? Yes, is this deflection? Might they not be... Might they not be comfortable in actually talking about anything like this, and maybe trying to go and ascertain that they should stay here? Sure, absolutely, right? Because ultimately, again, if this is an aspect of control, they want to maintain control in some capacity.
ball pits, mini golf, and more. And here we have the grounds.
The grounds, let's
Drown
go.
yourself in the digital lake or engage in ridery at the digital carnival. Night, day, it's all okay. The choice is yours. A cosmic buffet.
See, but like, wouldn't that take up quite a bit? Like running night and day simulations, being able to do all of this. That's a lot of stuff out there, right? Drowning yourself in the, yeah. I'm looking at Caine and I'm like, ooh. How much is this the illusion of choice? Hold on, I'm gonna back it up. Sorry.
Today for the newbie or what?
I'd like to give our brand new member a tour of the circus grounds first.
Perfect.
Off we go! Here we have the tent.
The
This
tent!
is where your living quarters are, as well as all sorts of other activities. These activities may include ball pits, mini golf, and more. And here we have the grounds. Drown.
Trying to make like living life here isn't that bad by the illusion of choice. Look at all the fun things you can do. You don't need to look for an exit. Here's the illusion of the things that you can do. You can have sun and night. This is dictated by you because you deserve it, right? And it's like, wait a minute, but all I wanted to do was go home.
Yourself in the digital lake or engage in ridery at the digital carnival. Night, day, it's all okay. The choice is yours. A cosmic buffet.
Is
Nice
that
sales
all there
pitch.
is?
Of course not. This is the void. We
Oh.
don't venture out into the void.
Why?
I know what's out there.
That's
We stay right here, where I can keep my hundreds of all-seeing eyes on you.
The call of the void chat. Kids, y'all don't know, there's a phrase in psychology called the call of the void, which is usually when individuals take risk-taking behaviors unknowingly, and at times it just happens from high-stress situations where abnormal behaviors are a lot more normalized or a lot more prominent, right? Like, for example, have you ever thought about, wow, wouldn't it be you know, and of course, if you do start getting the call of the voids like repeatedly, go seek professional help in your area. But thoughts such as, you know what, I could walk into oncoming traffic right now, right? You know what, wouldn't it be interesting if like this or this happened, right? Like there's a lot of those thought patterns that come out, and a lot of individuals, like, you know, it's like, oh, what is the rating of your danger to self? It's like you would never do it, right? It's just some thought patterns that come through it. Yeah, you're at the top of something, exactly. And it's like you might not actively try and do it, but it's a thought pattern that comes through, right? However, it is interesting because again, it's classified as an abnormal thought, and it's making me wonder if maybe abnormality, right, or the aspect of void of not having control or eyesight, or, you know, fully, like, you know, having surveillance or control over things is something that bothers Caine. And maybe if we're like, I just throwing this up there, maybe the exit is in the void. Maybe the exit isn't being a little abnormal and going into the void, right? Like maybe taking that risk of like leaving these like safety grounds that Caine is trying to go ahead and set up here for them, and actually taking that step into whatever the void may have. Or maybe this is his aspects as to what he could create in that void. And again, maybe Caine altogether is he's content in this world because Caine can play God in this little aspect that they're in, have all these eyes surveilling them at all times, right? But he, again, anger, those feelings of like, don't go out there, let me strike a little bit of fear in you if you go into the void, because I can no longer control what's out there. Like that is, yeah, sorry.
Hello, Caine. I love you.
Let's get out of here before the moon gets frisky.
Wait, what's that?
Get out of here before the moon gets frisky.
Wait, what's that?
If Caine can see everything, then he saw the exit door. Oh, this is gonna sound fucked up. I know this is gonna sound fucked up. Is Caine doing this on purpose, where the first thing the character saw was an exit door, and then again before we came in here, maybe trying to go ahead and leave them a little bit of hope that there might be an exit if they look hard enough, but maybe there isn't really. You know, maybe the exit is in the abstract, the carrot on the stick, right? Because you don't want to introduce a character that's altogether hopeless, right? Or maybe that's able to reignite hope in others in some capacity. Because again, if you reignite hope in others, you keep elevating their emotional states towards a more balanced level. Maybe this is because, like, how suspicious is it that twice, right, at the very beginning when they first come in, they see an exit door, and then again just before they get teleported right over here, there's another exit door, despite Caine just explaining that he has, this is the area that they control. It's a carrot and a stick. It's a foot in the door. It's a way to try and go ahead and bring in this character. It's a character that's able to go ahead and balance out others and maybe bring a little bit of hope altogether. Subliminal messaging. Well, having them like realize or reestablish themselves as like, oh, I saw an exit door, right? But then what happens when a character gets so drawn into just trying to find the exit that nothing else matters, chat? What happens to them when like they either lose all hope or that becomes their hyperfixation? Yeah. Ooh. Exactly. And something to focus on. By also bringing out hope of others as well, right? So that they can stay compliant. Yep. Because all of a sudden, if others start hearing it too, right? Oh, I saw an exit door, right? It's like, oh, we thought there wasn't an exit. We're starting to lose hope. You get hope back up. People become more compliant. People's happiness levels at there start staying a little bit higher. But what happens when that rug starts slowly getting yanked out again, right? That's the interesting level and phenomenal. Anyway, oh my goodness, this show is good. Well, we are 4 minutes in. There's a lot to just like rip apart, get our teeth into, especially with just Caine as a character altogether, and how controlling and manipulative they seem to be. Anyway, with that being said, we're gonna take a quick little break. I'll be right back. Go to the restroom, grab a drink, grab a snack. Yeah, quick little restroom break. Go to the restroom, grab a drink, grab a snack. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I really do. I hope that you guys are liking this, in some capacity. I hope you guys are. Anyway, we'll be right back into it. So, number one, I have a couple questions for people out in the community, which is, how do people do a lot of people like the show, like the Amazing Digital Circus? And like, how is the fandom or the community revolving around this show? And around this, around the show in general. Like, do people like it, dislike it? What does that look like? Anyway, I'm gonna back it up just a bit. Not even I know what's out there.
Is that all there is?
Of course not. This is the void. We don't venture out into the void. Not even I know what's out there.
That's
We stay right here, where I can keep my hundreds of all-seeing eyes on you.
Hello, Caine. I love you.
Get out of here before the dog gets frisky.
Wait, what's that?
Ooh.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Clean up on aisle U.
I'm on it, boss. Ow.
Why are you like this?
All right, that was a good one. That was a good one. Oh. Oh.
Whoa. Clean up on aisle U.
It's just.
I'm on it, boss. Ow.
Oh.
this?
Oh.
Wait. Was that an exit door I saw out there? Is that a way to leave?
What exit? If there was a way to leave, I'm pretty sure we'd have all left by now.
You see what I'm talking about? Y'all see what I'm talking about there? Like, it brings up the conversation that there's an exit, starts like, everyone starts having a conversation like this because we all have personal goals, and if they're all human characters, right, at the end of the day, why wouldn't you want to go ahead and leave in some capacity? Yes? Why wouldn't you try and find the way out?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I assure you, there is no magical exit door. You're
All left by now.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Okay, so it's... And then Caine, for someone that, gaslighting now, for someone that's able to see at anything and everything going on, right? Just the sudden change and reference in there is...
I assure you, there is no magical exit door.
There
You're
you
probably
go.
just experiencing digital hallucinations from your mind's transition to the digital plane. Digital hallucinations from your mind's transition to the digital plane.
So is this all just consciousness, chat? Is this all just consciousness that's just been ripped? Your mind's transition into the digital plane. If that's the case, then is it like a neural link again, like Sword Art Online, where maybe their consciousness was just altogether like souped on in here, and that I guess brings up the question: are these like frames, bodies, vessels that have just been stored with this, digital consciousness that's been ripped from whoever they were? And does that not make them NPCs? Or are they actual player characters? Because then they would be able to remove the headset, right? Anyway, apologies. Just the way they explained it, right?
I assure you, there is no magical exit door. You're probably just experiencing digital hallucinations from your mind's transition to the digital plane.
I swear I saw it.
Digital hallucinations!
I swear. Oh.
How about we talk about something else? Like your name.
My name?
Digital hallucinations!
The way that he's doing this, right? The coping mechanism that he's going through.
I swear I saw it.
Digital hallucinations!
Look at his fingers. Look at the fingers, right? Instantly thinking about how to go ahead and push this on forward and change the conversation topic. Not only that, asserting themselves, right? Like, oh, well then it's time to have a conversation as to what is your name? Immediately. This is interesting. And this is a power move, right? yes, right, they've already touched on elements or things that maybe they already wanted their things to be touched on, but for this individual to immediately go into this and switch the topic like this showcases to me that there's probably going to be a big moment coming up that makes us go like, wait a minute, what? Something, and it's probably going to be something along the lines that like, this character probably, you know, doesn't remember maybe a lot of things, maybe there's gaps that are missing or instances that they might be struggling with, right? Either anxiousness or depressive like symptoms, maybe memory gaps. We might be looking at the character not fully realizing who they actually are or what they represent. Maybe they just have an idea because they already talked a little bit about this digital mind or an aspect of the conscious and subconscious brain being brought into this, you know.
How about we talk about something else?
Sure.
Like your name.
My name? My name is, oh God! Why can't I remember my name?
Well, that's terrifying because your name is a big part of your identity. And it's a big aspect that's to like something that allows us to control ourselves, right? And you know, because if we have power over our name, we have power over our environment, right? Because when we introduce, ooh, oh, wait a minute, oh no,
Oh God! Why can't I remember my name?
Nobody can remember their name once they...
so why'd you ask? So why'd you ask? Nobody can remember their name once they enter their digital circus. So why'd you ask? Unless you're about to go ahead and find a way to insert your own power dynamics over them in some capacity, right? That's crazy.
My name is, oh God! Why can't I remember my name?
Nobody can remember their name once they enter the digital circus. One of the few things I don't have control over are your minds.
Why do I... Huh.
So all I can help you with is coming up with a new one.
What's my name?
Yeah,
Don't
that would...
you worry your little head. Your new name can be anything. Hereby acknowledging that your chosen name and/or names may not breach the Digital Circus user license agreement, stating that your name may not include objectionable content. Objectionable content includes but is not limited to sexually explicit materials, obscene, defamatory, libelous, slanderous, violent, and/or unlawful content or profanity. What do you
Oh
think?
God.
I don't care, just pick anything.
Again, the power being given over to Caine. Think about that, right? Just for a second, it's like, okay, like I want to pick something, right? It's like, I don't care, pick anything. This is another power dynamic movement. A lot of people at times might be manipulative, right? Will use tactics like this, foot in the door techniques, you know, legitimately finding ways to go ahead and use like, you know, just programming techniques to try and get you to follow their will in some capacity. If I can name you in a big way, you might go ahead and trust me a little bit more, give me a little bit more power. You know?
Let's see. What do you think of... Terrible. Let's try that again.
Oh, I don't know about. It would feel a little weird to pick your own name. I mean, it would, but it's better than having somebody else like, you know, come through that they don't fully know you, give you a name, right? All right, I'm gonna wait until stream's fully back. Hold on. We're getting there. Hold on. Name and self-identity, and name being a big part of who you are. But I still go by in Twitch King, despite the fact that, yeah. And that's the thing is, like, self-identity is super important, right? How do you identify as? And of course, we can change our identity over time, but that comes through to us, right? us as individuals having the aspect of choice to be able to choose if we want to change who we are and our names and whatever that may be. Excellent point, Daddy. I appreciate that. I really, really do. Oh, I still go by. I think I would like to pick your own name. Yeah, no, for a lot of people, right? And I hope that you don't mind that being your Twitch username. I don't know if you were planning on changing it or anything like that. But like ultimately names represent a big aspect of like, you know, either, you know, an aspect of like, you know, our adventures, memories, whatever that may be in some capacity. Anyway, let's go.
What do you think of? Right, terrible.
Is
Let's
that
try
Evie's
again.
piano?
What do you think of Pomni?
Pomni?
Sure. I think I just...
Gadzooks, you're right, Jax. We should have a brand new adventure for our new member, Pomni.
I said that like 5 minutes ago.
You! Do you like adventure, activity, wonder, danger, or... What do you think of Pomni?
Sure. I think I just...
Gadzooks!
I did just ask if that was your piano, because I know you don't like the drum sounds.
You're right, terrible. What do you think of? You're right, terrible. Let's try that again. What do you think of Pomni?
Sure. I think I just...
You see how the immediate reaction for this is like they're not really that interested. They're just trying to go ahead and process things. But Caine is not allowing the opportunity or the space for the character to process this just yet. It's like a, what is it? Like visual overload, right? Like if you continuously try to overstimulate an individual, not even allowing them to finish their sentences, and you're like, what do you think about this? Hey, what do you think about this? 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 It's gonna allow the person to like, oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
Zooks, you're right, Jax. We should have a brand new adventure for our new member, Pomni.
I said that like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Do you like adventure?
Look,
activity,
look.
wonder, danger, horror, pain, suffering, pain, death, disease, death, angel food cake? Ow! You parasite!
I don't really...
Since you're new around here, we're gonna make it a simple in-house adventure to warm you up to how things work around here.
What? No, God. I don't want an in-house adventure.
Don't worry,
Oh.
Zool. I'll make it something unobtrusive that you can still choose to not get involved with. Today's adventure is... Gather the gloinks!
The gloinks?
That's right.
By the way, in Russian, Pomni means remember. Ooh. Ooh, yeah, because names have meaning. So if Caine is in a way gave them the name remember and is kind of poking at it. Ooh. Ooh, that's dark, dude.
Ow!
I guess welcome to the amazing digital circus.
Since you're new around here, we're gonna make it a simple in-house adventure to warm you up to how things work around here.
Sure.
No, God. I don't want an in-house adventure.
Don't worry, Zooble. I'll make it something unobtrusive that you can still choose to not get involved with. Today's adventure is... Gather the gloinks! That's right! The entire circus tent will be infested with gloinks! And you gotta catch them all!
But what are they?
I'm glad you asked, Bubble. They're small...
And what do they do?
They...
How do they...
Gloinks are...
You see? Again, anytime that there's someone that's challenging their control or even like finishing the sentences or going around in there, what do they do? Right? They start losing it. They start losing it. A mouse in the house, yo, pudding. They start losing it and they start trying to get that control back in any capacity. So we see that with Bubbles here, right? We see that with Pomni when they're walking away and they're like, nope.
Infested with gloinks! And you gotta catch them all!
But what are they?
I'm glad you asked, Bubble. They're small...
And what do they do?
They...
How do they...
Gloinks are small, mischievous critters that steal anything and everything they run into.
Oh,
Why
okay.
do these humanoid hash browns do this? How do you stop them? That's for you to find out. Now, good luck, and have fun, my little superstars!
how much would that be for you as an individual? You just got summoned into this world. You're just taking out, oh my God, like, look at this. Look, these are the options. This is a buffet of people you don't even know. Look, there's the three different areas that you can go into. This is your house. These are your living quarters. These are your roommates. By the way, you know, there's a sun and the moon and there's an exit. Oh, we're back. Hey, what's your name? Oh, you don't remember your name? Oh, that's too bad. So sad. Hey, guess what? Your name's nope, it's Pomni actually. Hey, what do you think about starting a new adventure? Hey, new adventure. We said that 5 minutes ago. Blah, 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 blah. That's so much information overload that you would be lost. That is so much information overload that would absolutely cause someone, you know, to either A, panic, right? And it's like it could cause someone to go into a panic attack. Number two, right? Feel as though the only individuals that they're able to go and latch onto are the people around them. And that's ooh. Like exactly as she was left with her legs just crossed over like that, a little scared, you know. Ooh.
What did any of that mean?
Oh, it's just one of Caine's little adventures. They're just something fun to do to, you know, prevent us from going insane.
Speak for yourself. If anyone needs me, then f off.
Oh, God, oh, Jesus.
Oh no.
Well, that's dark as hell. They could legitimately just like tear your body apart like that? What? Oh no.
They killed Zubul. Anyway, you guys want to go get something to eat?
Oh, wait. We should go check on Kaufmo. I'm pretty sure he'd like to meet Pomni.
Impenetrable fortress!
You want to come with us to check on Kaufmo?
No, not really. I think Kaufmo's gone insane.
Ooh.
Last time I spoke with him, he was rambling endlessly about some exit.
It's the first episode. We're only like 8 minutes in. Putting. So then the, like, you know, going insane talking about the exit. So the hyperfixation on the exit has caused them to maybe start losing their mind altogether. But the fact that Kinger is able to go ahead and bring this up, like, oh.
Oh, wait. We should go check on Kaufmo. I'm pretty sure he'd like to meet Pomni.
Impenetrable fortress!
You want to come with us to check on Kaufmo?
No, not really. I think Kaufmo's gone insane. Last time I spoke with him, he was rambling.
That's for you to find out. Now, good luck and have fun, my little superstars.
What are they?
I'm glad you asked, Bubble. They're small.
And what do they do?
They...
How do they?
Gloinks are small, mischievous critters that steal anything and everything they run into. Why do these humanoid hash browns do this? How do you stop?
Question for y'all, and this might be a little overload here. Are the NPCs, like the Gloinks and stuff that may be a part of this world, how much control does Caine have over them? Rhetorical question. Like, how much control does Caine have over the NPCs and like the Gloinks, you know, that we're seeing in here? Considering the fact that they just tore apart Kinger's fortress in here, and then, like, you know, tore apart Zubul like that.
Them? That's for you to find out. Now, good luck and have fun, my little superstar.
As we know, they have eyes everywhere, right? They have a bunch of eyes everywhere, so they're able to go ahead and see sort of what's happening at all points in time. Is that a rip in their pants? Or is that just... Hold on. No, or is that just part of the... Chat, do you see this? Coattails? But it's in the crotch area. Is that a... It's like above their thigh. Could be. I don't know. I might just be overthinking it. Sorry. Yeah, I might just be overthinking it. Oh, no, like it's legit on their thigh, bro. I'm looking at this. It's from behind. It's on their thigh. Like it could just be the lighting. Could be.
What did any of that mean?
Oh, that's just one of Caine's little adventures. They're just something fun to do to, you know, prevent
Pass
us
the
from
time.
going insane.
Speak for yourself. If anyone needs me, then f off.
Oh, God. Oh,
You know, they curse, they come through, and they take them.
Oh no, they killed Zubul. Anyway, you guys want to go get something to eat?
oh, wait. We should go check on Kaufmo. I'm pretty sure he'd like to meet Pomni.
You know, and then they come through and they kind of force Kinger on this adventure as well, right? Or at least to introduce themselves.
Fortress!
You want to come with us to check on Kaufmo?
No, not really.
Mm.
I think Kaufmo's gone insane. Last time I spoke with him, he was rambling endlessly about some exit. Kind of like you, Pomni. You might be going insane too.
But
Oh.
wouldn't that more likely mean the exit does exist?
Could also mean you just have a jump start and losing your mind.
Or it could mean that the exit is a lie. That exits, these exits are a lie. You know, kind of like a Portal reference that the cake is a lie, but like anything that is in the environment that Caine is able to control is a lie. Is the best way to go ahead and rationalize this, right? Zubul is basically forced into an adventure. Caine they could choose to avoid it. Yeah.
Well, I think I'd like to ask him about it. If this was real, which it isn't, because it's a dream.
Uh-huh.
She still thinks this is a dream.
Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm fine with doing whatever, as long as I get to see funny things happen to people.
Ooh.
She still thinks this is a dream.
Is Jax aware of us? Yeah, I think Jax is breaking the fourth wall for sure. So it's like, how aware? Ooh. Ooh.
Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm fine with doing whatever, as long as I get to see funny things happen to people. Okay, I've already had enough of these things. You, me, and Pomni will go check on Kaufmo, which leaves Crybaby and Hoo-Ha together to go handle the Zubul situation.
Well, even more so. Here's you really want to have a conversation that gets people started or gets people to, like, you know, start introspecting a little bit more. These are the questions that I would have if I go in there. If I join the Amazing Digital Circus, I go in there and I compose myself, right? One of the big things that comes through and that I would ask is, okay, like, you know, I know that we're all in here, but shouldn't we all be... And that's exactly the layers of things that I would be asking, right? Like, don't you guys think that that would make sense? Chat, what do you think? Does that make sense? I think it does. What do you guys think? Does that make sense as to how we would ask that question and stuff? I'm fucking with you. Sorry. I know that stream went down for a second there. No, so what I was saying is, if I were to be pushed into this amazing digital circus, right, as a character, and I had a moment to go ahead and like compose myself for a second, a question that I would ask, like, you know, after we've gotten to composure, it's like, okay, what do you remember about your past self? Let's start there. Like, you know, what does being in here mean to you, and what were you doing before you came on? Number two, are there people out there waiting for you? What does your support network look like outside, and how can they help bring you back on the outside versus the inside? Like, is there anyone that's waiting for you on the outside, essentially, or anyone that's willing to go ahead and check up on you in any capacity to ensure that you're safe? Number three, Loridi, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're taking care of yourself. Number three, we're only 8 minutes in. And we're like 2 hours into this stream. Number 3, what does it mean, right, for you to find safety in this, right? Like, what does it mean for you to find safety in this world? And then how can we ensure that all of us are moving together to try and find that, right? Oh, no worries, Evie. Have a good night. Be safe. I appreciate you. All right. So those are a couple of the questions that I would ask just to start introspectively thinking, so that everyone's on the same page, you know, in that capacity. Anyway.
He was rambling endlessly about some exit. Kind of like you, Pomni. You might be going insane too.
But wait, wouldn't that more likely mean the exit does exist?
Yeah.
Could also mean you just have a jump start and losing your mind.
Well,
What about Sugal?
I'd like to ask him about it, if this was real, which it isn't, because it's a dream.
She still thinks this is a dream.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm fine with doing whatever, as long as I get to see funny things happen to people. Ow. Okay, I've already had enough of these things. You, me, and Pomni will go check on Kaufmo.
Nice.
It's Crybaby and Hoo-Ha together to go handle the Zubul situation.
Oh.
Do you think pairing them up together is a good idea?
Of course I do. They're the two most mentally stable and capable characters to be paired together. Come on, ladies. They're the
King
two
are
most
just
mentally stable and capable characters to be paired together.
King are zooting.
They're the
He's
two most
zooting.
mentally stable and capable characters to be
Viral.
paired together.
Oh. Oh no.
Of course I do. They're the two most mentally stable and capable characters to be paired together. Come on, ladies. Let's go harass the clown.
Oh, that's interesting. Clown, and then Pomni the Jester, right? Clown-ish theme. Huh.
Clown.
My comedy mask is broken again.
Oh.
Ah! Oh! Gangle, you startled me.
Is it lucidity? Like, are they struggling with their own mind? Like, is it an aspect of dementia? Or is it their mind just forcing dissociation? Or are they just dissociating because it's safer to do it in this world? Ooh, wait a minute. I know we were just talking a little bit about like lucidity and aspects of coming and going. We talked a little bit about that earlier on stream, but now it's making me wonder even further, right? Yeah, dissociative amnesia. Exactly. They all can't remember their names, so there's got to be
So, this is where we... Or well, where we all sleep at night. Even though we don't really need to sleep, it's sometimes...
Hold on.
Or well, where we all...
What are the characters that have giant X's? Whoa, what the heck?
Startled me.
So, this is where we all live.
This one just looks like one of those like dolls that you use to go ahead and like make a model from. And then there's some doors that just have a giant X on them.
Or well, where we
What?
all sleep at night.
Like this bird.
Even though we don't really need to sleep, it's sometimes nice to kind of take a break from everything and have a bit of a routine, you know? I'm sure there will be one for...
Or maybe that's just an empty model for a character to come in, yeah?
Oh, look. You already got one.
I still don't understand. About the adventures, why even go on them at all?
Wait, is that a black king? So there was another kinger in the past. Now that's interesting. Now that is interesting.
I'll sleep at night, even though we don't.
You know, this bird-looking thing. A dog. Or is that a black queen? That's a black queen. Oh, it's a queen piece.
Don't really need.
Still. There's a dog.
Need to sleep. It's sometimes nice to kind of take a break from everything and have a bit of a routine, you know?
Yeah, I didn't even take a
I'm
look
sure
at the
there'll
top. I
be
just saw
one
the robe.
for... Oh, look. You already got one.
I still don't understand about the adventures. Why even go on them at all?
Yeah, it is a queen. It is a queen. So there was a black queen piece still, though.
Why not try to find a way to leave?
Well, we
And then Kinger.
usually do when we first arrive, but after a while you start to realize that you really can't leave, and constantly chasing an unattainable goal will start driving you a bit crazy.
Unless someone brings hope again and then you start becoming compliant again, and that hope revitalizes an aspect of self, so that way you stay more compliant and you don't lose your sanity because there is no exit. So altogether, right, altogether this is kind of pushing the idea that, like, hey, maybe even I'm actually really curious about what's in the room. Sorry. I know my mind's going at, I have like 1,000 threads in my brain going all in and out at the same time, you know? Like, what is in these rooms, first and foremost, considering that they don't need to sleep, but yet they go, like, they do it as part of the routine. It makes me wonder, are these rooms even designed to be relaxing, or is it designed to keep, like, for example, are these individuals out here and about just to live up to Caine's entertainment as to what they deem to be exciting, right?
At
Like,
night,
what do these,
even though we don't really
what do these rooms have?
need to sleep, it's sometimes nice to kind of take a break
Dog,
from everything
bird.
and have a bit of a routine, you know? I'm sure there'll be one for... Oh, look. You already got one.
I still don't understand about the adventures. Why even go on them at all? Why not try to find a way to leave?
Well, we usually do when we first arrive, but after a while you start to realize that you really...
And then these models, right? They're not characters. They're just models for potential NPCs, right? It's not like we would see or not NPCs, a character, right? It's not like we would see a character like this appear, right? Like, these are just like empty rooms or something.
really can't leave, and constantly chasing an
Yeah.
unattainable goal will start driving you a bit crazy. And eventually you get to asking what the point of anything is, and you completely lose sight of who you are and why you're even alive. And when you reach your breaking point, something really terrible can happen.
Oh, God. Yeah. Well, I mean, what happens when you start having a psyche break, right? You start having a psychological breakdown and start turning into a real life crisis. What do? How do you handle that? How are you able to stay grounded in any capacity if your only form of a goal or existence is all there? Oh, they all have trauma. Absolutely. 100%. Like, this show is just clarifying and reintroducing, and not reintroducing, but showcasing that all of these characters have trauma in some capacity, right?
But that's not something we need to deal with today. Above anything else, the adventures give us something to do that keeps our minds healthy and stimulated.
And then, as noted, the adventures keep their minds happy and stimulated. They keep them grounded, right? Baseline, so that they don't go off the wall there. But even more so, showcasing that, like, there's all these deep, dark emotions inside of them, but yet they're still smiling. That masking is very much required. Oh.
Thank goodness this is all a dream, right, Pomni?
Oh.
Why are we here again? What are we doing?
Weird. keeps our minds healthy and stimulated.
Thank goodness this is all a dream, right, Pom?
Why not try to find a way to leave?
Well, we usually do when we first arrive, but after a while you start to realize that you really can't leave, and constantly chasing an unattainable goal will start driving you a bit crazy. And eventually you get to asking what the point of anything is, and you completely lose sight of who you are and why you're even alive.
Yeah.
And when you reach your breaking point, something really terrible can happen. But that's not something we need to deal with today. Above anything else, the adventures give us something to do that keeps our minds healthy and stimulated.
Thank goodness this is all a dream, right, Pomni?
Why weren't they reacting this way previously? That seems very weird transition, as though we're meant to believe that this is the way that they're reacting because of the whole exit and adventure thing. But it makes me wonder if it's not more than that. Like, considering the frame and shot that we have here, what happened to...
Thank goodness this is all a dream, right, Pomni?
Yeah, it could be feeling overwhelmed, but at the same time, it I don't know. There's more to this shot than it seems. Dissociation, yeah. But also, they were talking and reacting normally just a couple seconds ago.
Why are we here again? What are we doing?
We're getting one of our friends.
Huh.
Huh. Maybe he's not in his room? I hope he's all right.
Don't worry, Dollface. I've got a key to his room.
Wait, what?
I mean, what Ragatha described was way too relatable. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Cammy, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Welcome on in. Yeah, no, we're like 2 hours deep into this analysis of episode 1. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, well, that's the thing is traumatic dissociation happens at any point in time. Everyone goes through dissociation. I feel like people oftentimes try to should be like, no, I don't dissociate. Do you remember every single little bit of your car drive home? Like when you're driving a car, do you remember every single little bit and thing that your body did? You know, your breathing, how fast you were going, all the exits, all the turns. No, right? Everyone dissociates, everyone, you know, zones out while driving. So there's always, because there's layers of healthy and non-healthy dissociation, right? I never know how I got home. Right. And that's sort of what, like, one of the key examples that I used to showcase, like, everyone goes through it, and we all go through it because at times our bodies want to go ahead and automate things, right? We do unintentionally. Yes, we all do things unintentionally, but it also happens with traumatic events. So for example, I had a client once, a young teenager, that whenever they would hear a doorbell, right, for them, they had a very traumatic upbringing where their parents wouldn't take the best care of them, and they were in an abusive household, and they knew that whenever particularly their male parental figure would ring the doorbell when they were home, and if things weren't exactly perfect, things were about to get very, very traumatic very quickly. So whenever they heard the doorbell, what do you think their brain did? Their brain shut off, and then they wouldn't fully come back until after, you know, things happened. Our brain, our brain has, like, at times can have the capacity to dissociate from traumas, from environments that, like, you know, we may have gone through that may be traumatic, events, topics, whatnot, and put like a filter on it where our body might be going. And there's a really good book, The Body Keeps a Score, right? Or like, you know, trauma stays in the body, and how at times it can come up in relationships and instances out there. And it's a very, very phenomenal book that talks a little bit about dissociation, a little bit about how trauma can be stored in the body, and how at times we need to go ahead and release a lot of that trauma and stuff going on, right? To figure out what it was, to be honest. Yeah, because again, our brain puts a filter on it at times and makes us dissociate just because it's not that opportunity or that time. And there's another good book out there called Ghost in the Nursery. Not Ghost in the Shell, that's a really good anime. It's Ghost in the Nursery, right? Or Angels in the Nursery. And it talks a lot about how growing up, our caregivers and our support structure really starts impacting ourselves and like as adults. And pretty much like how we attach, how we get into like toxic relationships, how sometimes we get it like we get into partnerships, or we get married and then like we come to find out that they're not the right fit, and at times it ends up costing, like it feels as though we take on a lot of guilt and responsibility, or we take on certain roles in order to meet the roles that weren't meant for us growing up, you know. The first one, I think it's called The Body Keeps the Score, if I remember. It's a little bit about trauma, like trauma in the body. Let me find it for y'all. Here we go. The Body Keeps the Score. Brain, mind, and body in the healing of trauma. It is this one. Really, really good book. The Body Keeps the Score. Really, really good book. I would suggest it for anyone, you know. Please do go check it out. The other one is... Ghost from the Nursery, you know, tracing the roots of violence. Very, very interesting book. Again, really goes in deep about how, you know, again, our parental figures or loved ones not being there for us, how it can impact us as adults. The Ghost in the Nursery, Ghost of the Nursery, you know, it's really, really, really good. Another one that I'd recommend. Sorry, I know we're going in deep into this as well, but I think it's really good that you guys... Another one that you guys might have heard me talk about quite a bit from time to time, if you guys really want to go ahead and start making results on like establishing some good, clear like routines, habits, whatnot, is Atomic Habits. Phenomenal book. It's not so much just about reading it, but about taking it and applying at least one concept that you read to yourself. If you really want to start creating habits that start making you feel like a better person, again, I would highly recommend these books as books of self-care. Not shelf books. Please don't just put them on your shelves and forget, but like actively use them to try and better yourself in some capacity. I know that I've used them to better myself and understand myself like that, you know. Anyway, sorry, chat. I hope that helps some of you guys out. And we can continue. I know it's a late night stream. I usually don't stream late at night, but hey.
Huh. Maybe he's not in his room? I hope he's all right.
Don't worry, Dollface. I've got a key to his room.
Wait, what? Why? You shouldn't have keys to anyone's room.
Nah, I've got keys everywhere, and you've all been fine. By the way, I may have left something in your room today, so let me know if you find it.
Oh.
You're not afraid of centipedes, are you?
Oh.
That's literally my only fear. Why would you do this?
What? It could be a completely unrelated question. You'll never know until it's too late.
Oh, God. And it's a bunch of eyes. Oh, God. Oh, God. No way out. Exit. That does not look like a clown. That looks like... Yeah.
I've been looking.
Why? Yeah, is this a healthy environment? I don't know. I don't think so. I actually think that if these designs were here when like Kaufmo came in and lived in here, don't you think that this is torturous?
For this. Thanks for keeping an eye on it, Coffee. I'm gonna head out. See ya.
Oh, Kaufmo's been obstructed. That's okay.
Abstracted?
Is that?
It might be that terrible thing I was talking about earlier when you reach your breaking point.
Huh?
Okay, wait. Maybe there's still time to fix him if we get Caine.
Whoa!
Kaufmo.
Whoa.
Listen, I know we didn't always get along.
So at least with Pomni, we know that their main instinct is flight. Like they will run away.
Whoa, Kaufmo. Listen, I know we didn't always get along, like when you called me out for fake laughing at your jokes. I swear I really did think they were funny. I was just having a bit of a bad day.
Oh no! Oh God!
Hey, Pomni. Thank you. Help me out here. I understand. You don't want to.
Ragatha's fawn, yeah. So it is like, yeah, it is digital corruption altogether, right? Like it is pressing that on through. Even further than that, we're legitimately look at their, you know, their fight or flight structures, right?
Okay.
So number one, Jax instantly,
Thanks for
right,
keeping an eye
runs
on it,
away.
Coffee. I'm gonna head out. See ya.
Boom,
Oh.
flight.
Kaufmo's been obstructed.
Ragatha, fawn.
What?
Pomni,
that?
flight.
It,
But even more so, when did Kaufmo become abstracted? Because there's, ooh, I have a really weird feeling, right? Considering that, like, it seems as though it was fine what might have been like the day before, because there was no issue with the opening song. But apparently now, right, this time Pomni appears. Wouldn't that mean that it happened this day? And then Pomni coming into creation. Is there a correlation between a character becoming abstracted and another character coming in this digital corruption that's taking over? I don't know. That's just my mind going crazy.
might be that terrible thing I was talking about earlier when you reach your breaking point.
Also, Kaufmo telling bad jokes and getting, like, not getting a lot of responses, or, you know, people not laughing at them. Yeah, that, I can see how that could be. Ooh.
Okay, wait. Maybe there's still time to fix him if we get Caine. Whoa, Kaufmo. Listen, I know we didn't always get along, like when you called me out for fake laughing at your jokes. I swear I really did think they were funny. I was just having a bit of a bad day.
I can fix him.
Hey, Pomni. Thank you. Help me out here. I understand. You don't want to.
Oh. And yet Pomni actually tries to reach out and help, right? Like Pomni actually, like, cares, right? Like there's that layer of empathy where Pomni's like, oh, okay, like, you know what, I tried to run. Oh. I mean, and I'm totally clueless as I watch. You watched up to episode 3. You did point out the clown and jester. Yeah, clown and jester, right? Outfit.
I'm sorry.
I understand if you don't want to, though. Yeah.
At your jokes. I swear I really did think they were funny. I was just having a bit of a bad day. Hey, Pomni. Thank you. Help me out here.
And I guess that's the main element, and I keep bringing this up for Ragatha. How much do you guys think that she feels that she's a bother to others? Or like she doesn't want to be a bother to others? Or like Ragatha reminds me a lot of individuals that have been in abusive relationships that at time are afraid of like standing their own ground, or, you know, like being themselves too much, or even like upsetting others, right? A lot of the people pleasing tendencies are at times just being like, yeah, she comes off that way. 100%. I love Ragatha, you know, but like hearing this, like if you don't want to though, it breaks my heart a little bit.
Don't want to.
I'm sorry.
Oh. Ah! Oh, that's some Resident Evil stuff. Oh.
I don't know what I'm looking at here.
We saw Gloink carry one of Zubal's pieces down there, remember?
Oh, yeah. Thank you for the recap.
I don't know what I'm looking at down here.
Hey, we're not very good at this, are we?
So,
Jax.
fellas.
Jax! We found the Zubal hole.
Cool.
How is Kaufmo doing? I hope he's not still mad at me for not laughing at his jokes.
So it's almost like, ooh, it's almost a consistent then, yeah? That like nobody was laughing at Kaufmo's jokes. What does that do to a person when you're in an environment that maybe people don't fully get you for who you are? Ooh, what if all of these characters don't fully understand one another and have each other pinged wrongly? And so there's always layers of tension, right? And if the room is designed like Kaufmo's room, where it's not necessarily the greatest and it's actually can kind of hurt you in the process, you're literally just speeding up towards like a layer of like abnormality like that, right? Where you're going through a psychological breakdown. Let's talk a little bit about Ragatha altogether, which is like for Ragatha, right? Trying to people please in an environment where people might not necessarily be at the friendliest and you won't necessarily get along with everyone. Like for yourself, what does your sense of value do to you, right? And even further, right? Like for me, it conceptualizes. It even makes me question. You lose your purpose. Like if I'm a clown and my jokes are bad, what even am I? Exactly, right? Well, same thing with all these other characters that we're looking at. Like, okay, for example, how does a king move in chess? It can only move one piece at a time, right? What happens for like, you know, for a king if they aren't able to move, if they're consistently in check? Because of knowledge, because of anything else. What happens to them if they lose their mask, right? What happens to them if both the happy and sad master are broken? It's like, how are they still able to go ahead and be themselves? What happens to Ragatha the moment that, hey, you know what? Nobody wants you to people please them, but you should try and go ahead and please yourself and make yourself happy instead of trying to make others happy. What happened? Like, there's all of these things where if you invert it, you get a very interesting aspect of self, an aspect of existentialism, right? Negative responses to existentialism could be breaking. Absolutely.
Oh, he's doing great. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen him this happy before.
Well, it's good to know he hasn't completely lost his mind.
He actually asked me to give you this.
Whoa!
Oof. Wow, radical. It reminds me of a lot of the bowling alleys that I go to have the wildest animations for like strikes and spares. Some stuff that isn't even like, it's not safe to show on YouTube, you know, or on and you're just like, why would you spend that time animating this? That's so wild. Like,
An insect collection?
I think it's a nest.
yeah.
Hello? Ragatha? That was your name, right?
Over here.
Ooh.
Hey, look. I didn't mean to leave you behind like that. Just look at my hand. I didn't know what to do.
It's okay. What you need to do right now is find Caine.
Wouldn't like digital, oh, it's gonna sound fucked up. I know it's gonna sound fucked up. Wouldn't getting digitally corrupted like this also be a way out, chat? Like if you become so digitally corrupted that you can't be recovered, wouldn't that also be a way out if you can no longer be a part of this world? No way out, no exit. Yeah. That's I mean, that's a way to end your existence.
He'll be able to fix me up and take care of Kaufmo.
Oh,
But also, Caine mentioned earlier that they have eyes and ears everywhere. You know? And yeah, that they have eyes. Well, they have eyes everywhere. So aren't they seeing everything that's happening? Literally, earlier, you know, when doing the introduction to this, Caine brought up all their eyes to showcase that they're being seen at all points in times. So they're probably, ooh. Unless Caine wanted this to happen. Unless Caine wanted this to happen. Unless Caine knew that Kaufmo was becoming abnormal like this. Understanding that Pommy was being brought into this world. Understanding the fact that they needed a Sentinel event to bring the group back together in some capacity.
okay. But where can I find him?
I don't really know. Just look around and call for him, I suppose.
Okay, I'll get him. You just stay right there. Not that you can really move or anything. Just
I
hang
love
in there.
Pommy.
I'll be
Oh
right
my
back. I
god.
promise.
Cool. Oh, so Pommy, I'm sorry your first day here had to be so terrible.
And look at Ragatha here. Legitimately, they're suffering. They're going through all of this, yet they're still trying to empathize and be there for her, Pommy. It reminds me a lot of like the self-sacrificing people that really like they might be having the worst day ever, but they're still trying to like make other people happy, and they're still trying to be there for others even though they don't have any more spoons. Because at times, like, you know, just hearing a thank you or just hearing that you're needed might keep you here a day longer than anything else. I find Pommy to be the person I can trust the most. All the others are kind of, I think all of them have difficulties. However, that doesn't mean that they're bad people, you know. Control, especially in a world you're new to, never familiar, is always dependable on him. Like,
yeah, well, don't worry about it. I'm just gonna go get Caine now.
mm.
Hello? Caine? We have a bit of an issue here!
Oh, of course. And now they're hard to find. See, now that sounds like an absolute nightmare. The world revolving.
What form of non-blood-killing mass dares presume presence in the nest of the Blood Queen?
Oh, is that who you are? You know, you could have asked for my consent before forcing me to see something so completely and utterly disgusting.
How despicable! A rabbitoid that runs its mouth in the presence of my royal figure.
Well, as a royal myself, I would like to kindly ask if... Oh, look, there's Zooble.
Wow. Okay, so Kinger can really, like, is really just processing things one thing at a time, Like, that kind of makes sense. King. one step at a time, one thing at a time. Gets distracted easily because it's especially Pomni King. I'm glad. How many episodes are you in, Punning? Are you like 2, 3 episodes in, 4 episodes in? Like, considering this is the first episode, this is just a pilot episode. This is great. What a good way of bringing us in and introducing all these characters.
Zubul.
Help me, you idiots!
Kinda rude, Zubul. Now I don't want to help you.
Not like you were going to originally.
No, I always lose.
Oh!
Yes! Gotcha!
Oh no.
Hey! Kinger, you mother...
Hey, Kinger tried! Kinger tried! Oh!
I'll be fine.
Think about the way that Jax knows that a situation is happening, right? Jax knows that there's like all of this digital corruption happening, but yet isn't fully communicating that with the others. What are they doing, chat? What have you seen Jax do? Aside from intellectualization, which we've seen a lot of the characters intellectualize in certain aspects, right? What are they doing? We've seen a lot of displacement with humor, right? Where, oh yeah, that's happening. Wow, that must, even though they were just running away scared, they find ways to use humor as a way to cope through their stress, right? Might they be compensating from time to time? Sure, right? Might they, at times, might all these characters be projecting aspects of themselves onto themselves or others? Sure, right? But we're starting to see a lot of these defense mechanisms start popping up further and further. But even more so, I'm going to bring up this wheel of power and control. Sorry, and I hate to bring this back to Caine, but we have to. What does Caine have over them? What have we seen Caine use? Chat. Well, technically, name calling. They now have a name things to them, right? Mind games. I haven't seen really the accumulation aspects of things. Standing. What else? Exclusion. Minimizing, denying, blaming. Controlling what someone can do or does. You only have 3 areas to pick from. Don't go into the void. There's no exit. So there's already quite a bit of things. In case you guys are wondering, if you only meet one of these criteria, right, then your relationship might not be the healthiest, and it might raise a couple red flags in a therapeutic conversation. Considering all of us have now highlighted at least more than one, there's a concern. And there is a concern. If you're in a relationship or a partnership or anything like that, friendship, and you're meeting one of these consistently in some way, shape, or form, it's a red flag. There is a concern, Gotta
hide.
Where are you going, Pomni? Poor Pomni, I swear. First day here.
God, where's Caine?
Watch. It's just going to open up and go to the other side. Or it's not even going to actually be there. This is literally Caine just playing with their mind. Oh, maybe it does go so. Whoa. I might be wrong. Nope, we're still in the circus, we're still in the circus, aren't we? Circus themed. Look at that. It's a circus themed picture up here. Someone looking through the shadows, what looks to be, right? Nope, we're still in it. This looks like back roomish. Stanley's Parable. The exit is alive. That's why I'm telling you, is this all seems so perfectly framed that for me it looks like someone that wants to maintain control, purposefully putting a carrot and stick for a lot of these individuals and trying to go ahead and solidify some bonds and again reassert themselves as the individual of power or the belief of it.
You foolish assortment of...
Now the question is, why would someone allow this abnormality to run through, right? I hear some of you guys asking, well, think about it this way. What does this showcase to the characters? If you become abnormal, you will, like, you know, and if Caine does come in here, you can't save Kaufmo, then more than likely Kaufmo's going to get deleted. If you can't stay normal and in line, you will be deleted. It sends a pretty clear message.
You foolish assortment of colorful characters.
That's
Do you not
wow.
realize that everything must be gloinks?
Gloink.
I am gloinks. You will be gloinks.
Yeah.
God will be gloinks.
Yep, and only
This
Caine
is
can
dumb
save
and
you.
weird.
Well,
I'm not here for the adventure or anything. I'm just here to hide from the...
Oh.
Oh, thank God you're okay. You didn't experience a game show in there, did you?
What are you talking about?
The inability to stop it is also possible, but that's what he wants us to think. Exactly. Oh, damn. It's going to town.
What's happening?
It's just Kaufmo. Don't worry about it.
It's just Kaufmo.
Kaufmo abstracted?
Nah, he's fine.
You're right. How are we gonna get out of here?
Guys, over there.
Oh, wow. Would you look at that?
Ladies first. No, wait, why would I say that?
Jax! Jax, it's so mean.
Wait, Pomni's not even here? Wasn't this whole thing for her?
Be quiet. I can't hear the escalator.
The illusion of choice, endlessly going through it. Now this is traumatic. But why an office building like this? I guess that's sort of where my mind comes into, is why an endless backroom office building like this? And very specific, you know, like, that's interesting. Literally just starts driving a person mad, isn't it? Hold on. Oh, oh. Is that the headset? What is that on the side? First off, this old monitor looking thing, like, yeah. It reminds me of the Oculus, you know. But seeing their reaction to it, it clearly means something to them in some capacity. If it's causing their brain, yeah, and it's causing their emotional state to go wild like this, then it's clear that this is more than likely designed as a torturous event to try and get someone in the verge of mental instability. Either that or starts getting them hyper fixated in that, right? Computer soul makes you wonder if it runs Windows XP. Yeah. But look at them. Look at them. They're literally starting to lose their own sanity because of what they're going through. And clearly looking at that computer had this effect on them. It's like the mad gesture, you know? CNA. You're in the void! The void! Unless the void is a lie too.
Oh, Bubble, you always know how to make me say this exact sentence. Yes! An alert on my Wacky Watch at this hour?
Spamton? The Wacky Watch? Hey! Oh, look at that. The void really is out of their control, isn't it?
Oh no! Someone's venturing out into the void! They'll get totally spoiled!
Hyperlink blocked. Oh my god. They're totally gonna get spoiled. If they keep going out there, they might find out the truth. I know, are we third wheeling? Wow. Wow. Are we third wheeling on their day? I think we are. But also, wow, the fact that like that caused an immediate response, but not the fact that someone became an abnormality. So they can just do it, but no one else can.
There you go!
So someone going into the void is a bigger risk than someone becoming an abnormality to Caine. Spoiled as in learn something is the way that I took it. Spoiled, like, you know, like, I don't know.
Now what the heck happened around here? Oh yeah, my doing.
Caine! Kaufmo went through a sort of Kaufmosis and abstracted.
Kaufmo
abstracted? Why didn't anybody tell me?
This is dark. This is so dark, dude. It's like, oh, I don't have control over the brain. Okay, here's the thing. He might not have control over their brains, but he does have a capacity. He does have control over their environments. He does have control over what can impact them, right? So he can formulate a plan that instantly starts taking a toll on their mental status. That might not necessarily mean that he has full control over their capacity, right? I'm so quirky. Oh, why didn't anyone tell me? I love these characters so much. So, oh my god, dude. This is great.
And into the cellar you go.
Into the cellar? How many people have abstracted or become abnormalities? Oh my god. Learn something as well, not being able to take it. Yeah. Oh my god.
Man, I can't believe Kaufmo just gave up like that. I mean, no offense, Kinger, but I always thought you would be next.
Thank you.
Guess it just goes to show you can't rely on Kinger for anything.
I don't think this is a good way out.
I'm
No.
in so much pain.
Again, what did this show the group? And what did this show Pomni? Take this as a lessons learned, because at any point in time, if he really did have this much control and vision over everyone, then he clearly saw everything that was happening. What did this showcase to them? To the group, Caine has absolute control and is able to go in and fix the issues and take away pain, right? He's able to go ahead and, unfortunately, get rid of Kaufmo if you abstract. They're always in control. And most importantly to us as the viewer, they don't want people learning more than they should, or going into the void in whatever capacity the void might have. But also makes me even go further than that, and it makes me question this, and I'll come back to this scene. We're at 23 minutes in. We're very close to the end. We're doing some pretty good timing. It makes me wonder this. What does this computer mean? What does this computer mean? Like, what is the significance of this computer to Pomni and to, you know, to potentially the rest of the characters in here? Is the amazing digital circus, and this will sound weird, maybe in this computer? Or is it more than that? Does this have a personal significance to Pomni? There's so much to dig in. Oh my God. I'm just so excited because there's a lot that we can like really dig into with this. And also Pomni going into the void. This kind of reminds me of the PS2 intro sequence. Yeah. Like, I don't know why. This reminds me of the PlayStation 2, like, you know, the little squares and stuff, the cubes. Yes. Anyway, we're back into 23.
And into the cellar you go.
Praise be his name.
Man, I can't believe Kaufmo just gave up like that. I mean, no offense, Kinger, but I always thought you would be next.
Thank you.
Guess it just goes to show you can't rely on Kinger for anything.
I am in so much pain.
Oop.
Oh.
I do have to apologize for lying about the exit. I knew how much all of you have been wanting there to be one, but, you know, I was having so much trouble figuring out what to put on the other side and ended up never quite finishing it.
Sure.
And you know how I never like letting people
Sure.
see my unfinished work, especially if it leads you out into the void. Anyway, looks like you defeated the Gloit Queen, so I guess the adventure's over. Your reward is a delicious digital feast cooked by our head bubble chef.
Oh,
All the
nice.
love I'm legally allowed to give.
I am pretty
Oh.
hungry.
You didn't even do anything.
So what? I can still be hungry.
Well, not really.
Oh.
'Cause we don't need to eat, drink, or sleep in this digital world.
So you take away. Oh, fuck. This is so dark. What did they take away, chat? This is the physiological needs. They literally took away the bottom of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? The thing that grants us stability, the ability to be, even their name, right? Everything really, yeah. The ability to even have, because shelter is still, you know, at the moment, sure, it's temporary, but then like you don't have to sleep, you don't have to eat, you don't have to, you know, all of these desires, the main aspects that makes us who we are, right? And by the way, like, you know, some of these are like check marks. You either have them or you don't, right? But if they're auto eliminated for you without like, yeah, this is rough. This is extremely rough because if you can't enjoy food, if you don't have the need or the want to eat, to sleep, to have any emotional regulation with that, guess what? You're in danger. You're in severe danger. Which, yeah, everything else in this case gets affected by it. 100%. 100%.
So the digital food here only gives off the virtual sensation of eating.
Does it probably doesn't even have taste, yeah? Yeah, exactly. Life is defined by our needs. If you're taking away your humanity, digital food here only gives off the virtual sensation of eating. It probably doesn't even have a taste, so that's automatically oof.
Without any of the nutritional benefits.
Sheesh, lay off it. Since when are you an expert on the digital world?
Oh my
Expert
God.
what?
think about how traumatizing this is, right? Also, the fact that they're all laid out in a very theatrical setting, like a last dinner type setting, actually makes me wonder if this is if there's actually a persona out there, right? If there is a persona out there that's maybe like sort of online themselves into this digital world, how long can a person go without food or water? Because didn't they say that Kingor has been here forever? Is the person on the outside experiencing the same time as the people in here or not? If there is a person out there, or if this is just their digital consciousness, then doesn't this kind of go into like a Last Supper type of thing where it's like, yeah, there's a lot of symbolism that can come from this, and it's not even like real food or food that you can enjoy. Because otherwise, if it was more of a realistic setting, you'd find a way that like you can get people to communicate like with one another instead of laying them all out in a line in a very theatrical sense. I have a mouth, but I don't have to eat. Yes. Yes. God. This is dark. Pomni, I feel you. I'm like, what have I just experienced? Oh my God. Pomni. Oh. Oh. This is phenomenal. Holy crap. This is phenomenal. Well, there's a computer, yep, and it seems as though everything's digitized in there. Oh. Welp. And you can see the cords down there, you know. Welp. The old computer on top of a bunch of cardboard down here and files and oh my God. What have I just watched? Oh my God, dude, like this is just oh, the office is still empty, huh? No need to eat, no taste buds, yet a big table with a variety of all for shows, appearances, and to keep them as he likes. The room isn't even for you to be able to sleep in. It's literally just as a way to go ahead and poke at you. Yeah, it's a way to add, like, because you're trying to add familiarity to them, right? Keep them in their routine. But really, if you're not allowed to enjoy anything, then are you? Oh.
Cooked by our head bubble chef.
Made with all the love I
Wow.
allowed to give.
You know, I am pretty hungry.
You didn't even do anything.
So what? I can still
So
be
what?
hungry.
Well, not really, because we don't need to eat, drink, or sleep in this digital world.
Like, look at this, right? The realization of everything coming through. Like, for Pomni, and I think for anyone, this is the point in time that we would be having a psychological breakdown. Our psyches would be out of control at this point in time. Everything that we thought to be real is not. The only time that we had an exit out into the void, we were shoved back in here, right? We were going through and we were finding out different elements as to what we thought was okay and not okay, right? Them going through the office settings and whatnot, seeing that computer being driven like that. There's a lot to bring in.
Food
My
here only
God.
gives off the virtual sensation of eating without any of the nutritional benefits.
Sheesh, lay off it. Since when are you an expert on the digital world?
Expert on the what?
Hubby. Oh. Oh, yeah. Holy shit moment. Yeah, the dichotomy of the scene adds hopelessness. The music is great. All right. Phenomenal pilot. Oh, what a way to bring this in. Altogether, I think that this, like with the previous stream and this one, it brings us to 4 hours for episode 1. Oh, a little over 4 hours for episode 1. my goodness. Like, there's so much to dig into all the characters, and I'm really curious about how all these characters keep evolving, you know? Like, particularly, like, number one, for Pomni, right? How do you establish relationships with Jax and the others in a way that they feel comfortable enough that you guys can start relying on one another to get things done? I think that Ragatha here is gonna feel some type of way, right? You can tell that they already felt a little something about, like, you know, that they were in pain, that Caine had to step on in, and then the whole objective was for Pomni to go out and get Caine to help them, you know. It was a good one. No, it was great. My question is, what would you guys rate this pilot out of 10? And also, how deep have you guys thought about these characters in at least episode 1? And it's very Brechtian. I keep talking about it, right? Where it keeps showcasing to us that this is a show, you know, that we're meant to go ahead and be on the outside looking on in, not necessarily jumping in and like being absorbed altogether by the world. What would you guys rate episode 1 out of 10? For me, this is a solid pilot. This is a solid pilot. I think it's better than a lot of anime openings, a lot of anime stuff that I've seen. I think the exits being a lie, the power of Caine, all of this stuff would rank it up to like a 9.5 out of 10. Like, it's solid, consistently solid all around for a pilot. Yeah. I've seen a lot of pilots out there, and there were like 7s, 6s. I mean, even some episodes of some good anime were like maybe 8s, 7s. But this is a really good way. Like, hey, now you know all the characters' names. Like this, now you're just there. When it came out, but now I've seen too many times to tell. Yeah, and that's the thing for me. This is my first time watching this, and it's great. Like, actually great the way that they're playing with the character psychology and everything in there. Anyway, with that being said, let's listen to the ending here, and then we'll give our final thoughts. Please make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. That horror ordeal would mean the world. Share this around with other people who may like to theorize, analyze the characters along with us, and come and join us here for future episodes of the amazing Digital Circus. Oh, they have plushies? No worries, buddy. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is awesome. They were Hot Topic exclusive merch. Were they? Oh, that's awesome. Hell yeah. Well, I hope that you enjoyed your stay tonight. I hope that all of you absolutely, I don't know, really liked it. I hope that you guys enjoyed the analysis aspect of it. Again, we are an analysis channel. We are not here to, you know, make predictions about anything. We're here to go ahead and analyze the characters, talk a little bit about what's going on, how it comes together, and the psychology behind it, right? And I hope that you guys maybe took a lesson around. I know we talked a little bit about defense mechanisms, a little bit of attachments, which we can go into at a later point about. Maybe next episode we'll touch a little bit more on attachments, color psychology, fight, flight, fawn, you know, power wheels and control, Jungian archetype, grief wheels. We'll talk a little bit about developmental theories, probably in the next episode or so. But as we keep going, I think that there's going to be a lot more for us to dig in deep. Thank you all for spending your time with us tonight. I really appreciate it. Please practice some self-care. And please seek professional services in your area from a professional near you if you're going through something in your life. Of course, we have a Discord if you want to come and join a supporting, loving community that's able to go and theorize and chat with you all as we keep on going through the amazing Digital Circus. Thank you all so much. Have a phenomenal night, and please take care of yourselves. Bye, YouTube. We'll see you later.